Although we are currently the weaker army.
No, I
Oh, you're on my team again. Why do I keep getting you?
I don't know. You tell me.
That's not a complaint, but you do just keep showing up.
Happens.
And I should probably pause this so I can move over to YouTube. Because we're already in Bio just sent me things. So yep, audio is definitely live.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. Guys, tell her. Tell her audio is not live yet.
He's just using. Didn't have the brain cell. That cat doesn't look like it fits in that space.
Well, I mean, the thing is, cats are liquids. They fit in whatever space they damn well please.
No, oranges are just stubborn.
Well, it depends on if they have the brain cell at the moment.
I don't think your cat's ever had the brain cell we knew.
She's clearly sitting on it right now because she's nowhere to be found.
No, she's just upstairs, lying in front of a Valentine, sure.
Probably.
That's usually her move.
Sleeping.
Alright. Nothing to read from bio today. Swap into all messages where nobody's in chat, so that means I get to do this. Even though I was technically 4 minutes late.
We've got another shortly, probably in the next week or two. The Valentine's event is going to be starting for Grand Order, which means we're getting another new Valentine's related servant for it. By which I mean not really a servant associated with Valentine's Day in any way, shape, or form, but good old Popus Johanna. It's a real thing. I mean, the Catholic Church doesn't recognize it, but it's a thing that happened. And it's also got, like, the best fucking CE art of all time with the adorable little, like, Nikiko. All about that CE art. I might have to just MLB that one just for good measure. What?
If we ever actually want to get stream underway, you need to give me the ability to hear the game.
Oh, it is making noise right now. I had like one servant who was actually related to Valentine's in the strictest sense. Well, I mean, Semiramis had a giant floating chocolate factory, so I mean, I guess that was Valentine's related, and Shonagon wrote the Pillow Book, so that's definitely Valentine's related. MHXA likes sweets, so that's Valentine's related. Karin is literally a pseudo servant of Amor, so that counts. God, who else am I forgetting that was a Valentine servant? Was Bride a Valentine servant originally? I don't
know, but chat is vehement about the fact that the one love-related servant that you guys have in that game was from an event that wasn't even in February.
That's not true. Amor is Valentine's, and then Kama is not Valentine's, but you know, whatever.
そうです。いつかは聖杯を手に入れ、私は契約を果たす。だからこそ、英霊になる前から、いずれ英霊化が決定しているという条件で、あらゆる時代に召喚される。それはこの町の聖杯だけではありません。
Yeah, she's Clara and Raven. She's Raven to Clara.
More or less.
聖杯が手に入る可能性があるならば、
Which, you know what, I'm content with, because Clara being effectively immortal is just the best thing.
See, this line right here. This is the line that I think had me confused last week, where like Chad was like, no, it was definitely only the 3rd and 4th Grail Wars, or the 4th and 5th Grail Wars that Saber got summoned, but like this line, I think in the original translation was something more along the lines of, if there's a chance of obtaining the Grail, I will be summoned, to acquire it. Like, I think the Mirror Moon translation gave much more the impression that, like,
that she's
until she gets the Grail, until she's handed a Grail, she will be in every fucking Grail War.
そうしていつかは聖杯を手に入れ、私の望みを叶えた時こそ、死の直前で止まっていた私の時間は進みます。アーサー王は最後の時を迎え、聖杯を手に入れた代償として、こうして英霊となるのでしょう。
I love that her entire premise is, I have to fight because I need to obtain the Grail so that I can die, but once I die, I become a heroic spirit and will continue fighting in Grail.
Yeah.
That's a really dark, self-fulfilling prophecy.
Here's the thing, though, right? Yes, the heroic spirits do get called on for Grail Wars, but that's not really their primary function. It's really more so that Emiya can do fun things like summon them to fight literal world-ending catastrophes. Eventually we'll get on to talking about the counterforce, but like...
I mean, sure. And it kind of goes without saying that if you're basically going to be summoning all of the heroes of time and space ever to be a part of a thing, you're doing it to defend against really, really bad shit. That makes sense. That's fine. It's Sovngarde logic. Otherwise, they're just kind of hanging out in a, eternal mead hall, just enjoying life and swapping stories of being just the best. But...
basically, right?
But I'm just saying, it's a really raw deal Artoria has here.
I don't think Artoria quite qualifies for Counter Guardian status, but there's very specific requirements for being a Counter Guardian, which I don't think she meets. But basically, Emiya can do whatever the fuck Emiya wants, and if Emiya needs to defend the world against something bullshit, Emiya will just handle it in some various capacity.
今回の聖杯戦争もセイバーにとっては夢の一つ。そして夢から覚めるのは聖杯を手に入れた時だけ。
Yes, I need to get a Grail so I can wake up and die.
リンはシローが未熟だから私を霊体化できないと言いましたね。けれどそれは違う。私は未だ死者ではないから霊体にはなれないのです。半端な扱いですが、これでも位置づけは聖者ですから。
It's been a while since I've watched through all of Fate Zero. What did they contradict that later? Like, was she able to spirit form in Fate Zero? I don't remember. I feel like I don't remember her doing that, but I don't remember lots of things. So
is Fate Zero Kiritsugu's Grail War?
Fate Zero is the 4th Grail War, yes.
前回の聖杯戦争でも私はそうだった。
Although I should specify, the 4th Fuyuki Grail War, which for all the intents and purposes of this game is just the Grail War. But given the broader universe and, things like the Great Holy Grail War and the moon cell and a whole bunch of other ridiculous bullshit. Saber's tone is apologetic. The one in America. She probably feels bad for laying the blame for her not being able to enter spirit form on my ineptitude. I don't care about that. But there's something I need to ask.
Saber, 未だ死者じゃないってどういうことだ？聖杯を手に入れるまで死なないってのは分かった。話の流れから言って、アーサー王の時代からずっと生き続けてるわけじゃないってのも分かる。けど、そうでなかったら今のセイバーは何なんだ？本体の分身ってわけでもないんだろ
う。はい。こちらに呼び出される英霊というのは全て本体の分身のようなものですが、聖杯を手に入れるまでは死の直前に止まったままで呼び出されている。リンの言った通り、アーサー王は時間という大河の上で停止している。
Stop. River time.
So, I misread that. So I read King Arthur is now stopped in the great river of me.
I mean, yeah, the Artoria River.
like, okay.
私はその位置から前か後ろかに飛んで聖杯を求めた後、止まっている場所に戻っているのでしょう。
I try to diagram it all in my head. So yeah, in the past, I like the timeline. Past, present, and future. In the past, Arthur has not died. Then Arthur gets summoned, also in the past. Then Arthur gets summoned in the present to Shirou. And then Arthur gets summoned in the future.
With the Throne of Heroes all the way over
And the
there.
Throne of Heroes is to the right.
And the Battle of Camlin's that way.
The Battle of Camlin is listed on the timeline between the past and the present. It's somewhere in between the past and the present. Apparently it's not in the past, because the past is like up at the top, but... It's pretty simple once I visualize it. King Arthur is stopped in time at the moment before she dies. But that doesn't matter to the wider flow of time. It continues on all the way to the present. She jumps to whatever time she's needed, then returns to her own frozen moment in time after she completes her duty.
Or
fails
fails to, as the case has been.
If she manages to obtain the Holy Grail in one of the times she visits, she'll be swept back into the proper flow of time and die, just as she does in the history we know. And you're being awfully generous to yourself there, Shirou, assuming that this is going to be the time she does it. Maybe that's how heroic spirits work. When they die, they're transferred back to a sort of nexus where the flow of time stops. And then they're removed from the cycle of reincarnation. It's great. And when they're summoned, they're taken to that point in time, then disappear without ever returning. Exactly. You get a copy of the thing in the Throne of Heroes, and then they just poof. That's probably what's meant by heroic spirits being doubles. Kind of like a clone made from their original selves. The heroic spirit, which completely retains the abilities and memories they had while alive, appears in the world and gains more knowledge. But it's all useless. They have no means to return to their original body and instead just disappear. And so, no matter how many times or in how many different eras they're summoned, there will never be any inconsistencies in the heroic spirit's memories. Because it doesn't make them anymore after it goes to the Throne of Heroes. Except for sometimes. But don't worry about that. From the moment the person becomes a heroic spirit, they will never change, except for when they do. See, the thing about this, and we've said this a million times, is the rules of the Nasuverse are very
set in stone
very set in
until
stone.
they're not.
Until they aren't. Yeah.
Yep.
Until they're not anymore. Even if they obtain new knowledge, they'll just disappear once their role is over. Unless they don't. Unless, I don't know, something like Chaldea just traps them in a briefcase and keeps them on a hard drive for a while. So in that sense, Saber isn't a complete servant, because she's not dead, and isn't in the Throne of Heroes. After each time she's summoned, she eventually returns to her own time, to the excruciating pain of her own death. Yay! She goes back to that moment when she's about to die on that blood-soaked...
And then just sits there in that feeling till she gets summoned again.
What a shitty existence, right? She's about to die, and the world's like, hey, you want a grail? Yeah, I'd like a grail. Cool! You're gonna work for us until you get a grail, and then you'll work for us forever. But we'll give you a grail. Awesome, I'm in. Alright, fight a war. Holy shit, I'm not dying anymore. I feel great. Oh shit, war's over and I'm dying again. Ah, it hurts. Hey, another war. This is so much better than dying on that hill. To the point where I don't mind getting cleaved in half by Berserker because it's less painful than dying on the hill.
Still better than Gamlin.
Game's overall mission statement is basically to make it clear that mages are full of shit and don't really know what they're talking about. And even when they do know, what they're talking about, yes. Yeah.
ちょっと待った。じゃあ何？今回聖杯を手に入れたら元の時代に戻ってその時代で聖杯を使うってこと？それって過去の改ざんじゃない。時間旅行にしても平行世界の運営にしてもそれは魔法の領域よ。そんなのできるわけがないわ。
Oh, she's talking about Aoko's magic. Yeah, intervening in a parallel world where Aoko stole a guy's time from a different parallel version of him so that she could bring him back to life after he got murder killed.
Aoko's the one you keep telling me is Type Moon's best girl, right?
She is. She also stole, like, her powers from herself in the future in a different world in order to make herself stronger in the present for, like, 20 minutes. Aoko is great.
I'm assuming capital M the main.
Oh yes, Aoko is the fifth magic. Like she's the user of the fifth magic of the 5 that have been discovered. She has that one, and basically just gets to steal shit from other universes. Also, you'd love her because her approach to magic is kill. Like, ain't no kill like motherfucking overkill. She's just like her. You know how Shirou's like Shirou's element is sword and Rin is everything.
Mm-hmm.
Hers is gun, by which I mean she just fires fucking railgun ass laser beams out of her arm because can. Aoko is the textbook definition of overkill.
I do love that the way we describe people's magic affinities is Shirou is sword. Just sword.
Yes, that is
Rin
is
all the
of them.
elements.
Yeah, everything. Except for the weird ones like sword and imaginary numbers.
And Aoko is gun.
Aoko is just gun. Like, you know that scene from the Iron Giant? Like, you are not a gun, you are who you choose to be. Aoko is like, I choose gun. I am gun.
聖杯を使うことでアルトリアという人物が消え去ろうとも今の私が英霊となることを代償として
Besides, if I'm dead in your timeline, I got the grail.
Yep.
It's not a bootstrap paradox. It's I already got the grail, or I would be alive. I'd be dying on a hill in your timeline because your timeline wouldn't exist because I wasn't dead yet. Right? Like, Saber is so matter-of-fact about it.
I do appreciate that it's essentially time turner logic.
Yeah, Aoko did blow up the moon once. Yeah. You know that thing that Piccolo did in Dragon Ball where he just blew up the moon? Yeah, Aoko did that. Doesn't sound right, though. Using the Holy Grail to grant a wish is fine. But why would that mean that Artoria has to disappear?
なんだよそれ。聖杯を使うことでアルトリアが消える。ふざけるなよ、そんなの。セイバー、お前は自分を。
Shirou, for the 10 billionth time, that's how it's supposed to work. Is the Grail War happens, and then all of the heroic spirits are either killed or disappear when it's over.
Shirou, buddy.
They've told you this like a dozen times. I know this, and I'm not paying that close of attention to anything other than trying to figure out who's fucking who.
Listen, Shirou, buddy, what you need to understand is people die if they're killed. And Artoria was killed like a long-ass time ago. I see the image of the girl dying on that hill, all alone, surrounded by corpses of other dead people.
聖杯を使うんじゃないのかよ。
Why would I do that?
なぜそのようなことを言うのです
How would that even work, Shirou?
She's already made her deal.
The deal was that
the deal was struck.
Right. The deal is she gets the Grail, and then she dies and becomes a heroic spirit. Like,
she's already signed the contract, Shirou, essentially.
to be fair, like, yeah, it's weird that there were no consequences of blowing up the moon in DBZ, but in Fate, at least it wasn't like the real celestial body moon. It was like a second moon that was. Listen, Alice is awesome, and her, like, so Alice is not actually a capital M magic user, but her family does have one of the capital M magics. She just doesn't. But her thing, as her Magecraft, is basically centered around fairy tales. So, like, the thing she uses most frequently is, like, diddle diddle. Where she, you know, like...
the cat and the fiddle.
Yeah. So that's, like, her main one, but then she also has, like, the Thames Troll, and... So she's got a lot of, like, fairy tale related things. Cock Robin, who is just literally a Cockney Robin that follows her around. It's great. He's really annoying. But one of the things that she had was this, like, mist that spawned basically appearing as a giant moon. And then Aoko blew it up with a laser.
Cat, it really is a shame Inu doesn't keep, like, a webcam on exclusively me. I mean, I'd kill him if he did. But, like, a webcam exclusively on me for what I'm sure are my facial expressions of just pain, rage, and frustration every time we sit down to play this game.
Also, yeah, but I was right. Aoko's roommate summoned a copy of the moon that was actually a big scary monster that makes theme parks turn alive because she and Aoko were having a civil disagreement over mage rules. Alice wanted to murder a guy to death because he saw Aoko use a flamethrower on a corpse, and Aoko didn't want to turn the guy into a popsicle because of reasons. Mostly having to do with the fact that she just escaped. She'd been trying to kill him herself like 10 minutes earlier, but then there was an incident in a funhouse with a mannequin that looked just like her that was trying to kill her, and he kind of helped her to not die. So then she decided she wasn't going to kill him, and Alice was like, well, he still has to die because mage rules. And then they had a slight disagreement, which resulted in Aoko laser beaming her roommate's moon.
You realize how nonsensical that sentence sounds?
No, it's perfectly sensible.
No.
Yes, it is. Just go watch the Mahoyo series. It's not that long. It's only like 100 and something episodes.
Inu.
It's not like 400 episodes like Stay Night was.
Inu, brother, dearest. I would just love to put some of the sentences you say in this stream into Google or like onto a translate this page and watch people go, no, that's not a sentence.
Also, Bio was right. There were many dead sentient breads involved, yes. Alice's magic that made the theme park turn alive also made the bread into like walking gingerbread men that were trying to murder the hell out of Aoko and the guy that she was now trying to not get murdered. Oh yeah, and Alice has Humpty Dumpty, who's like a giant floating egg that's basically a bomb. And if I think it was like a reverse weeping angel, where as long as you didn't look at it, you were fine. But if you looked at it, it just like exploded on you.
私の望みは国を滅びから救うことだけなのですが。
Also, Saber's super selfless. She's like, I don't want to not die. I just want my country to not be shit. I can feel my expression tensing up. Pretty sure you needed to keep tabs on it, but if you kept tabs on it too long, then something would happen anyways. Yeah, it was something where you like had to look at it, but then yeah, I don't remember the exact rules of it. That was a while ago. Now I know. I thought I knew Saber's wish, but now my head is spinning, and I feel like throwing up on Saber. And yeah, what do you mean? Why? She's king. I try to push air from my lungs and get that one word out.
なぜも何もないでしょう。私は国を守れなかった。国を守るために王となったのに、その責務を果たせなかった。その時に思ったのです。岩の剣は間違えて私を選んでしまったのではないかと。
Now we get to the heart of the matter.
But
that's ridiculous. You're fucking King Arthur. Why would you think that?
いえ、その迷いは常に私の中にありました。私は王にふさわしくないのではないか。本当に選ばれるべき英雄は他にいたのではないのかと。あの時、政権を抜いてしまった時、国を救えなかった私より国を救えたはずのふさわしい王がいたはずです。だからもし聖杯の力で王の選定をやり直すことができるなら、その時に戻ればきっと。
Is she saying that her nation wouldn't be destroyed if she was able to go back to that moment? I feel faint. I'm really angry at Saber for wishing such... Wait, why is that a question? I'm really angry at Saber for wishing for such a ridiculous thing? Why is that a question?
So I think it's listed as a question mark because he's confused by the anger, maybe?
The feeling passes in an instant, though. I probably look like a deer in headlights. Isn't it obvious? Saber's wish isn't for herself, and on top of that, she wishes for her own elimination.
Not really. She... Essentially, what she's describing as her wish is for someone more capable than her to be the king.
Right. Which would mean that the her that exists currently would be orphaned in time.
Fair. But...
like, she is effectively attempting to wish herself out of reality.
But,
not that that wouldn't void her contract with the world, by the way. She would still be a heroic spirit, just a really trash one, because she'd have no fame bonus.
well, what's interesting is, you know, someone else would still end up King Arthur. It just wouldn't be her. Because for continuity to still continue to exist, a King Arthur would have had to have existed. Or, at the very least, a wielder of Excalibur.
I was told that if I picked the sword up, then shit would go awful, and was shown that things would go awful, and then I picked it up anyways, and things went awful. I'm bad at listening. Yep. Funny thing about that, Artoria, the world itself acknowledges that there was no one who could have done a better job than you, which is why it made a contract with you in the first place. Seriously, the world literally threw everything it had to send Britain into the Age of Man, and Artoria kept the Age of Mystery around for Britain far longer than anyone else could have. Yep. She exists because she became king by drawing the sacred sword. To pretend that never happened means she simply wouldn't exist. Except in the Throne of Heroes. Let's say we use the Holy Grail to grant her wish. Artoria would never become king. She'd just live in a timeline where she's an ordinary knight.
And be happy.
Well...
Ish.
We don't know that. She just wouldn't be miserable because of being king. But then what would happen to the Saber I know? Even if it's only temporary, she already exists as a heroic spirit, and if her wish is granted, she'll continue on, but as a being meant only for fighting.
Yes.
She's already paid the price for obtaining the Grail, so the Saber I know will continue existing, even if Artoria never becomes king. She'll be cut off from the past and the future. She'll always and only ever be the lonely knight dying on that blood-soaked hill. I won't allow it.
Just let her do her thing, you misogynistic prick. She's made her deals.
There's no hope of salvation there.
Not everyone needs to be saved, you egomaniac.
The problem is, that is his life philosophy, is that he has to save everyone standing in front of him.
That's idiotic, to quote him.
Yes. Yes, it is. Which is kind of the entire point of the next two routes, basically. Even if she was able to do it all over, and there really was a better king, and her nation did manage to last longer, and if she was herself saved, it'd all be lies. Even if it made everyone around her happy, I just can't let the past 10 years she fought through be a lie.
違う。そんなことはできない。
She was quite literally the single best and also only candidate for the job, so if her wish was, I want someone better suited than me to pull out the sword, then,
やり直しなんてできないし、しても意味はないんだ。セイバー。
シロ。
そんなことに聖杯を使うな。聖杯はセイバーが戦って手に入れるんだろう。なら、セイバーは自分のためにその奇跡を使うべきだ。
ですから私は自分のために使うと言っているではありませんか。
But I am using it for me.
私アルトリアは王としての責務を果たさなければ。
How does she not understand?
Not her that doesn't understand her situation, Shirou.
It's really not.
She understands her situation perfectly.
Like, I am the king. I wasn't good enough. Somebody has to exist who could have done a better job. They should do the job. The best thing I can do for my country
That I love.
is to not run it.
そんなのはお前はもう十分すぎるくらいに果たしてるじゃないか。セイバーはあんなにも戦ってきた。裏切られても怖がられても負けなかった。
Because what else was I supposed to do, Shirou? I was the king.
だっていうのになんで
Because that's her job!
あともお前だけがそんな誓いを守らなくちゃいけないんだ。
Actually, no, he has a fair question here. And the answer is she doesn't, but she's not dead yet.
That's
So
also fair.
So she doesn't have to keep the promises after she's dead. But because she isn't dead, she still has to keep those promises. She is still the king. Like, you don't understand. You're missing the point. Saber looks bewildered.
No, don't listen to him. He's a moron.
Too late to regret what I said. I shouldn't have just blurted out that I've been dreaming of Saber's past.
Could you just yeet him through a wall, please, Artoria?
This isn't love, Hina. A heavy silence hangs between us. I can't think what to say. Even I can tell speaking up now will just make things worse right now. But I just can't keep quiet.
セイバー、俺、頑張ったやつが報われないのは嫌なんだ。
The reward is dying, Shirou. The reward is the responsibility stops.
The reward is the country being saved.
Yeah.
It's wrong. It's not fair.
It's a contract. It doesn't, one, it's a contract. It doesn't have to be fair. And two, she's getting what she wants out of it, so that sounds pretty goddamn fair to me, Shirou.
I get that it's childish, but I want to believe that humans can find happiness if they really work for it.
他のマスターには負けない。聖杯は必ず手に入れる。だから、セイバーは自分の望みを叶えて。
Okay, I will make my own wish. That somebody else was king instead of me. That will be my wish.
I genuinely have no adequate words to express how much I hate Shirou.
それなら俺は、この馬鹿げた戦いに初めて意味を見出せる。
I straight up can't remember the last time I've had this much protagonist fatigue in a game. Usually when I get this pissed off at a protagonist, I stop playing.
Tartaria.exe has stopped working. That's the conclusion I reached. You don't even have a wish, Shirou.
Yes, he does. He wants to be a superhero.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to use the Grail for that. That's the problem. Like, he just doesn't want other people to have the Grail. Like, that's his entire reason for fighting the war, so other people don't get the Grail. He has no aspiration. I don't know what the Grail is, nor do I know if it's even something you should try to obtain, but if it could save Saber even a little, then I'll go all out for her.
I appreciate the chat enjoys my term protagonist fatigue.
Huh? Oh.
What?
Oh, right. They mentioned this forever ago, and you probably forgot. There's a bounded field around Shirou's house. That warns about intruders.
Oh, cool.
Never mind this conversation. We must abandon it immediately.
We know it's not assassin. Because assassin's guarding a gate. I mean, I guess it could be Caster, but... Well...
If assassin's not leaving the gate, there's two possibilities.
Yeah.
It's Caster or Lancer.
Lancer does know where he lives. Lancer feels like it should be the correct answer, but you also told me I'd get to see Caster this week. So...
The sound of heavy bells rings out and the house suddenly goes dark. Literally all the lights turned off. The air changes immediately. It's now soup and I can't breathe. Oh god! My lungs are filling with chicken noodle. The lights go out, but Saber, Tosaka, and I don't say a word. We try to gauge our surroundings with our other senses, and Rin makes herself as rectangular as possible. The loud ringing stops and the living room goes silent. And yet, a soft rustling sound ripples through the house.
今の警告音 この屋敷の結界？
I nod in silence. It's the same sound as when Lancer broke in. Then that can only mean... The sounds are getting closer. Oh dear. Oh yeah, also a normal assassin likely wouldn't have set off the alarm anyway, since it's kind of built into their class. True story. Something is gliding against or across something else. Sounds like a swarm of bugs rushing through the light. The only place that sound doesn't seem to be coming from is the living room. It's not even been a minute since the lights went out, and we're surrounded on all sides by that sound. There's just too many of them. Whatever people might say, I do have some knowledge of mages and Magecraft. Even I can sense that there's a lot of magical energy coming from a ton of people or things surrounding the house. 20 at least. But they also seem weirdly light. Like, I don't sense any human will or intellect. The flapping sound seems to be coming from enemy puppets.
なんだ、やっぱり来たんだ。
There's
There,
Emiya.
Emiya.
To answer the question, there she is.
今まで散々私から逃げ回ってたくせに、バーサーカーがいなくなったら飛んでくるんだもの。ほんと、現金なサーバントね。
Emiya speaks up amid the flapping sounds. She, unlike the three of us, is strangely calm.
イリア、わかるのか？
当然でしょ。私にわからないサーバントなんていないわ。外にいるのはキャスターで、何かいっぱい引き連れてきてる。なんだ、竜の葉でくくったゴーレムみたい。
Emiya is so casual about this. And just then, the sound stops. I grab the wooden sword in the living room. Saber and Tosaka seem to be waiting for me to make a move. I savor the game.
That's just the conversation save, right?
Yes.
We just won't even get to Dragon Teeth.
Dragons, usually, typically.
Okay.
So, do you leave Caster to Saber and protect these two, protect Reen and Emiya inside, or do you rush into danger with Saber?
So the logical choice is stay behind and let Saber handle the servant herself, which inevitably means that's the death. Because that's the way this goes. This route. Whatever seems like it's the logical sane choice gets you killed.
So, there's a death here, yes.
Uh-huh.
It's a death that's also reachable from a different point. We can get to the same death in two different ways. However, you have accurately understood how Type Moon.
Yeah.
Saber can take care of Caster. There's no servant left that Saber can't defeat, and Saber should be good against Caster. Her strong magic resistance should make her a good choice against Caster, who is a mage, and Saber has magic resistance, which makes her good against Caster, who has magic because she's a caster.
キャスターならば
There goes Rin's last set of clothes.
Yep.
シローの判断は正しい。
You have made the... Oh no, Artoria's agreeing with us. That can only mean death.
セイバーはキャスターを倒すことだけに専念してくれ。
Oh, my wall! A strange sound reaches me just as I finish speaking. Is it The sound of Saber tearing through Caster's familiars now that she's jumped out into the hall?
まだ増える。
Mind my dressers, they're very important to me.
40。ちょっといくら雑魚だって言ってもこれじゃ問題ないわ。遊我兵なんて模造品で竜の化身であるセイバーを倒せるはずがないもの。こんなの何百体いようとセイバーの敵じゃないわ。
The sounds retreat into the distance. The horde I felt surrounding the house is gone. I assume Saber defeated them all. Like Emiya said, Caster's familiars can't stop Saber. They must not have made it in here because they couldn't get past Saber.
さすがね。セイバー、キャスターを見つけたわ。キャスターのやつ、急いで使い魔を引き戻してるけど、これで終わりかな。
If Emiya's right, the battle should be over soon. Saber won't lose in single combat. She shouldn't have any trouble cutting Caster down since she doesn't have to worry about protecting us.
浮かない顔ね。すぐに決着がつくっていうのに納得いかない顔してるけど。
そういう遠さからってどこか気に食わないって顔だけどな。
まあね、ちょっとうまくいきすぎてるから。セイバーの強さがキャスターの予想以上だったにしろ、何の用心もなしに自分から仕掛けてくるかなって。
He's right. Caster came here willingly. If she knows that there's a master here, she should already know which servant is here, too. So she knows that Saber's here and that Saber's a bad matchup for her. If she knew that and still attacked, then that means...
イリア、キャスターの気配は？
消えたわ。使い魔はまだ残ってるけど、残っているサーバントはセイバーだけよ。使い魔が残ってる。シロ、腕。
I look down at my left arm. Bye, command spells. I don't understand what happened. My command spells, proof of my contract with Saber, are gone.
シロ、霊樹使った？
いや、俺は霊樹なんて使ってない。
What's going on? Saber should have defeated Caster easily. So then, why did my command spell disappear? No, my command spell disappearing doesn't mean my contract is severed. I shouldn't be panicking. Command spells are there to control servants who may act against their master's orders. I haven't needed to use them for Saber. So even if I lose the command spell, Saber and I should still be able to get along fine.
セイバー、帰ってきたわ。もうすぐここにやってくる。
Yeah, to kill all of you.
What are those two doing? Saber's just coming back, so why do they seem so worried? The door opens. Saber comes in. Saber's gripping her chest. She seems to be in pain.
Saber!
I rush to her.
待ってシロ。
I don't hear Tosaka's warning. All I see is that Saber is injured.
大丈夫か、セイバー？どこ？
ダメ、逃げてシロ。セイバー、やめ。
In a single stroke, my body is cut in half from the shoulder to the waist. So quick is the slash that for a moment, I don't even feel pain. My mysterious healing abilities don't seem to work against the attack from Saber's sword. The world starts to go dark. as I die, more than my fear of death, I find myself wondering why Saber attacked me.
As I die, I have a philosophical debate with myself. Because that's a thing everybody can do while they're dying.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Best ending. Aw.
Dead end.
Guys, we got the good ending. It's okay. Saber finally killed the dumbass.
Shirou once again being very lucid while he's dying. That's what I love about Shirou as opposed to, like, Shiki. Shiki doesn't tell us shit. He just dies. Oh, look at sad little Chibi Saber in the background.
みんなこんばんは。洗濯ミスでさっぱりやられちゃった白を助ける Q&A タイガー道場です。
Easily avoided
今
mistakes.
回の死因はどんなに優勢だろうと油断しちゃいけないっていうことかな。シローはマスターなんだから、セーバーちゃんのちょっと
Well,
強心
here's
な
the
とこ
thing,
ろを
he
見せてあ
wasn't
げないとダメ
actually
だぞ。
at the time that Saber killed him.
That's true. His command spells were gone.
違うわ。今回悪いのはセイバーでしょ。キャスターなんかの罠にかかっちゃって気が抜けてる証拠だわ。大方白を意識して一人でいいところを見せようとしたんでしょうね。なのに白を殺しちゃうなんてセイバーのクラスも落ちたものだわ。
Oh.
それにやれ最強って言うけど勝ち星は少ないし体は小さいしレディーとしての魅力も足りないし。
Yeah, the big issue with that dead end is not just that she killed Shirou, it's that she killed Shirou and then immediately turned around and killed Tosaka and also Ilya.
Yeah, I mean, that bit sucks, but...
なんかセイバーって大ぐらいなだけのパワーキャラって感じ。
Oh, it's no question in the Ilya versus Prilia debate. Ilya wins every time. Prilia is just an inferior version of Ilya.
Really? A question mark?
Yeah, Prisma Ilya. The one from...
Oh.
The one
one
from
from
Lesbian
Earthbound.
Lolly's Kissing, yes.
セーバーちゃんも反省してるし、こう傷口に塩塗りたくるのはまずいでござるよ、武士として。
そっか、武士道は色なし恋なし情けありだっけ。仕方ない。今回の不手際は多めに見てあげるわ。けどセイバーに首輪をつけなきゃいけないのは本当だよ。だってそうでもしないと他のデッドルートでもこう。
ごめん。
師匠
だからそういう話は禁止。ネタバレは良くないし、セーバーちゃんをあの子怒ると本気で怖いわよ。ちょっと前セーバーちゃんをからかって臨死体験した子もいるんだから。
あ、それって13日目のことだよね。あれは楽しかった。ってタイガー、なんか今グルルとか聞こえなかった？ん？
別に聞こえない。うわ
ライバル出現の負け。はあ、何あれ、変なのが変なのに乗ってきた。
I think I lost brain cells in that one.
That's just what Ilya gets for kicking Saber while she was down. Ilya does have a point. Basically, every time Artoria has ever left to her own devices to solve a problem, she has ended up fucking up in some capacity and getting herself or other people killed.
Are we sure Artoria doesn't also have the Tosaka curse?
Possibly.
New headcanon. The Tosakas are literally descended from King Arthur, and the curse originated with Artoria. Alright. Time for this dumb choice to somehow be correct.
It's clear who the enemy is. Saber, apparently. If Caster is attacking with an entire army, then there's only one thing for us to do. Attack with an entire army back.
セイバー、一緒に来てくれ。登坂はエリアを。
なんで？やだ。
What a babysit Ren.
お断りよ。そんなの私だって願い下げよう。
I don't want to babysit Rin either. Wait, I mean, damn it!
聞くって言ったでしょ。あいつが言ってるんだからおとなしく従いなさい。そんなの知らない。セイバーなんかより私の方が役に立
Wow! Tosaka grabs Emiya from behind in a full Nelson and covers her mouth. Rain, you have no more gems. Emiya's way better off than you are at this point. Emiya, her voice muffled, continues shouting insults and expletives.
分かってる。イリアは私が守りきるわ。
You'll protect. What are you going to do, Rain? You don't have any gems left. The best you can do is Gondor people. And that's just gonna make them feel slightly ill for a
できる
little
だけ無理
while.
はするなよ。敵を倒すことより逃げることを考えろ。
Tosaka nods as if to say she doesn't have to be reminded.
I'm team let Emiya turn everything into plushies. Like, you're not gonna convince me her primary form of magic isn't plushie based.
Emiya could kill you with a thought if she felt like it, Rin. Yeah, exactly. I guess Rin does know some Bajikwan, so she could fisticuffs things, technically, and if she reinforced her body.
I just like the notion of Emiya just walking through the house, turning all the golems into plushies. And you're a plushie, and you're a plushie, and you're a plushie.
I do think she needs actual plushies to put them into is the problem. So she's not like transmogrifying things, she's just transferring their consciousness.
Ew.
I turn my back to Tosaka and head toward the veranda.
セイバ
Skeletons are historically weak to blunt type damage, so punching might actually work. Yeah, true story.
分かっています。シロは私が。
Saber follows me after nodding to Tosaka. Yes, nod to Tosaka. In that instant,
Those are creepy.
I doubt my own eyes. Spooky, scary skeletons. A sword swings down at me. I stand, stunned, as the blade descends toward my head. Now, pop quiz. Where have you seen these things before? Or this is not the first time you've encountered these skeleton warrior boys.
Is it not?
It's not. It's the first time we've encountered them in this game.
What other game have I played that has those creepy thingamadoo-piggies?
Well, in the very few maps that we actually cleared in Grand Order, these were the only enemies we fought.
Oh, were they?
Were these skeleton boys. I twist away and parry with my wooden sword. Even I don't believe it. My body just reacted the instant I knew I was in mortal peril. The enemy attacks again without missing a beat. A smooth mechanical movement. A fluid, accurate attack. But that's it. It's accurate, but it's not sophisticated, and it lacks the brutality of a killing strike. It seems pathetic next to the strength of Saber's strikes, but it's barely moving in comparison to Berserker's incredible speed. Back against the wall, I parry again. As I step back against the wall, with my back against the wall behind me against my back, that I'm leaning against the wall with my back, Saber strikes like lightning and destroys another set of clothes.
見ての通りだ。肝を冷やしたけど、なんとかなった。
なんとかなったではありません。このような時は私の後ろについてこなければダメです。今後は気をつけてください。
Guys? Why is there a double quote at the start of that? Why did you close the second quotes? Saber scolds me for my carelessness, much as I scold the translators for not using punctuation correctly. She's right, but I didn't want to just stay behind her.
シロ、私の話を聞いていますか？
ちゃんと聞いてる。それよりセイバー、今のやつは。
Hallway is empty.
Except for all the dressers.
And the bones. Whatever hideous thing Saber saved me from was completely annihilated by her attack.
今のはイリアスフィールの言っていた通り、魔物の体を触媒にしてかたどった兵士です。オートマタというよりゴーレムのようですが、質は低いですね。今のゴーレム程度なら取り囲まれても問題はありませんが。
Yeah, this isn't the storage dresser hallway. That's the front hallway. This is the back hallway. I don't know where they're hiding. How the hell did they manage to sneak in? These crudely assembled thingamadoohickeys scuttle all around us, closing in like spoders. Spiders. But they're not the only presence I sense. Countless others surround the house, many times more than I see here.
Shiro, 横です。
I like how these bone warriors are making pottery break dot wave as they move around. I leap away from the wall. I strike at the bones with my wooden sword. Saber sweeps away the bones, crawling toward my exposed back. The bones move jerkily towards us, attacking with the same unnatural movements. It's not hard to fight them off, but we're destroying more of the house with every strike. And I only have a wooden sword.
So give yourself a better one.
Even if I use strengthening on it, it won't last. As much as I hope I'm wrong, it seems like the bones heading for us are endless. I really hope this isn't going to go on until we both collapse from exhaustion. I can't help but complain as I fight back to back with Saber. There aren't that many bones coming at me. They're apparently made out of pottery, Shirou. Frankly speaking, a wooden sword should really be all you need to break one. Some seem to be coming from inside the house, but most seem to be coming from the yard.
Oh no! The shed!
My precious shed! Saber is slashing away at the bones coming from the yard. It looks like they're heading towards the living room. The Shirou shed is in danger. The Sokka and Emiya are in there, and Saber has her hands full dealing with the bones heading that way. No! Stop that! Don't Excaliblast my house! I need that for living! Saber readies her sword. There may be no need to hide it now. Her golden sword is ready to demonstrate its true power.
待てセイバーダメだエクスカリバーは使うなうちが吹っ飛ぶ分には構わなあいや構うけどそれでも周りは住宅地だここでそんなものを使われたらどうなるかわかるだろう
Look, I might be slightly annoyed if you break my house, but I'm gonna be very annoyed if you break my neighborhood.
I love that in all likelihood that's what she did in the last scenario too. And so she just destroyed like Shirou's entire neighborhood to deal with a thing.
Artoria does like to just Excaliblast first and ask questions later. I shout to Saber as I bat away the bones striking at me.
マスターの指示ならば従いますが、これだけの数をまともに相手にするのは面倒です。一掃しなければいずれ窮地に立たされます。
分かってる要するにあれは使い魔の類だろうなら操り手を叩けば一網打尽だそういえばキャスターの気配は探れるか
探るまでもありません。キャスターは庭にいます。
Yeah, I found her. She's over there.
気配を隠しもしないということは私たちを誘っているようですが
Which means the last thing we should do is go towards her.
構わない誘いに乗ろうどっちにしたってこんなことを続けてたらこっちが先に参っちまう
It really pisses me off that these are the things that work. The writer in me is upset.
私は一向に構わないのですがではこのままキャスターを
Well, we're not going to attack her here because she's not here. So yes, I guess we're going to attack her there. The yard is just ahead. If Caster's just out there, she shouldn't be too difficult to reach. No, bad Artoria. No laser beaming my entire neighborhood. But there's like 3 whole skeletons, Shirou. I know I can just sweep them aside like nothing. That's effort. Yeah. If we do that, we won't be defending the house. Saber's fighting the bones off now, but as soon as she's outside, the wall holding them all back will be gone. I should.
Save the game, I assume.
Quite. So now we have a choice. Do we let Saber fight Caster alone and go back into the living room and get stabbed to death again? Or do we just trust that Reen's got this for some reason? It's literally the same death that we already saw.
No different Tiger Dojo?
No, same Tiger. It's the same Tiger Dojo. That's what I mean, right? Like, there's the flowchart, and they go to the same Tiger Dojo.
No.
And in fact, it's even the exact same scene. Like, it's still Walpurgis Night. It's the same scene it was last time.
Fine.
I hear glass shattering. I hear the sound of intense fighting coming from the living room.
シロ、指示を迷っている時間はありません
And no! My delaying is making the situation worse.
キャスターを叩くイリアは遠坂に任せると言ったんだ
Don't worry, Emiya's got this.
So, question.
Uh-huh.
If Shirou were to do something phenomenally stupid and use a use his last command seal
Uh-huh.
to make Artoria go out and fight,
Right.
he stops being a master, but Artoria gets to stick around still for a little bit, right?
Well,
He
so-
just loses the ability to force her into things.
So
Would that then
using-
mean that Caster would go after Reen or Ilya's remaining command seals?
So here's the thing. Using the last command spell doesn't remove the command seal. Like, the thing is still on the hand. He still has the authority as a master. It's just at that point, Saber can feel free to disregard his opinions whenever she wants because he can't do anything about it. And in fact, at that point, if she wanted to, she could just turn around and cut him in half for being annoying. And there's nothing he can do to stop him. At which point she could just go, seek another master, like the two that are standing right nearby.
Right, but my main question, though, is Caster's plan here is steal Shirou's command seal or command spell so that she can control Artoria, right? But wouldn't it be easier if like, he ran out of command spells to just take Reen's or Ilya's and kill Shirou, then contract with Shirou's person?
Certainly a possibility.
Like, it would...
She does have, let's see, Reen used 2 of hers, Shirou's used 2 of his. She has, 5 command spells just sitting here in this house.
Right. But here's my thinking, is that she probably, objectively, had to use Shirou's last remaining command seal to get Artoria to attack them in the first place. So...
Possibly.
So I'm assuming she then also just kind of jacked Ilya's presumably 3 remaining ones. Because Ilya had no issue controlling Berserker without her command seal.
では行きましょう。マスター、私の背中を任せます。
She hurries down the hall, mowing down the bones as she goes. Moving down the bones.
I kind of wish it said mooing. Moo! She just moves and you just hear the sound of breaking pottery everywhere.
It's one of those old style marimbas. It's made out of actual bones. So she's mooing down the bone. The bone soldiers disappear before getting anywhere near Saber. They're like vanishing snowflakes. Saber scatters so many in her path it looks like a snowstorm. She said she'd trust her back to me, but she pretty clearly doesn't need me to protect her. I'm once again reminded how skilled of a swordsman Saber is. Artoria runs by, mooing at the skeleton warriors as she cuts them down, mocking them for their dependency on calcium to survive. Saber charges through them, unwavering. She cuts her way straight to the source of these wounds. Her only goal now is to defeat the yet unseen 6th servant that has invaded the house. Saber stops. Hammer time. The soldiers, which had been coming at us in droves, are suddenly gone. This must be our destination, our final destination. A distorted human figure looms ahead of us. It wears a robe of some kind, but the robe itself is so dark that it looks more like a hole in the night. A dark shadow. As soon as I lay eyes on the figure, I'm struck by an indescribable sense of anxiety.
あなたがセイバー。なるほど。確かにこれならバーサーカーを倒し得るわね。私の増票では足止めにもならないでしょ。
The figure chuckles. It seems the dark figure is the master of those bone creatures. Caster. But
マスターがいない。
there's no sign of a master nearby. Maybe she's the same as Lancer, able to move even far from her master.
貴様、契約が切れているのか。
Saber challenges her directly with the question.
ええ、彼は私の主にふさわしくなかった。だから消えてもらったし、消えてしまったわ。
You know, there are too much more deserving masters in the house if you want your life and your existence to be, you know, stable.
Reen, you want a new servant? I can't see the expression on the robed servant's face. But I can hear the terrible coldness in Caster's voice.
I'm thinking.
マスター殺し。では、貴様のマスターは。
とっくに死んだわ。けれど問題はないのよ、セイバー。私たちは魂食いでしょ。魔力の供給源なんていくらでも溢れている。あとはそう、聖杯さえ手に入れてしまえば心配は何もなくなるでしょうね。
貴様も現世の復活を望むのか。どこの英霊かは知らぬが、そのためにかつての誇りを捨てたのか。
Certainly a bold move, killing your own master, which is likewise the main thing that's tethering you to this plane of existence.
あら、人間風情に使われるのは誇りを捨てるとは言わないのかしら。
Fair point. You know, fair play.
私はそれが我慢ならなかっただけよ。今も昔も誰かの手足になるのはこりごりなの。だから使う側に回っただけ。あなたに非難される言われはないわ。
だろうな。私も貴様の非業になど興味はない。
Saber tilts her body just slightly. She's only about 10 meters from Caster. I'd like to believe Saber's just doing that like Michael Jackson lean. Like when she's tilting her body to the side, you know, like where you just tilt it like the ankles and you go that.
I mean, sure, but Saber's not that tall. She's just gonna end up face planting because you can only lean so far forward at that height before you're essentially just on the ground anyway.
Saber should be able to close that distance and bring Caster down in a heartbeat.
物騒ね。せっかく話し合いに来たのに問答無用だなんて。これでも手加減はしたつもりなのですよ。
I haven't even killed anyone. Today.
貴様と話すことなどない。潔くここで散れ。
Victoria would also just cheat by using her invisible sword to make it look like she's leaning forward.
Oh, that's also very true.
Yeah.
That is also very, very true.
Saber is intent only on killing. I'm not about to oppose her in this case. All I smell from Caster is blood. She must be telling the truth about murdering her master. Her raid tonight was clearly intended to kill everyone in the house. So there's no reason for me to stop Saber. Besides, Caster isn't even a threat to Saber. Even I can see Caster's abilities. She's the weakest when it comes to one-to-one combat. If Saber engages her, she can only lose.
ダメだセイバー
Huh? Saber's got this. There's no way she could possibly Saber don't fight that thing. Even with all of that in mind, I can't shake off this sense of anxiety. It's not the same feeling of hopeless, inevitable death I got whenever we were in Berserker's presence. Do I just have some sort of aversion to her, or is it a warning of something dangerous? Forget about me. Somehow, my left hand is aching to warn me that Saber should stay away from that thing. I hesitated too long. Saber launches herself at the dark shadow. Caster smiles.
Cognitively, I know the outfit isn't gonna tell me anything helpful. I know this. I learned this lesson the very hard way with basically nothing on Ryder being helpful, save the blindfold.
She doesn't look at all disturbed as Saber rushes toward her. She mutters, Atlas.
Well, that's an interesting choice of words.
Actually, I think what she said was Atoras, which is slightly different, but I can't understand what she says, but it sends something beyond words straight into our minds. Never gonna give you. They just get Rickroll played directly into their minds. The world lurches and distorts. How would her looking like a year one Yu-Gi-Oh card not be helpful in figuring out her identity? The air grows denser around Saber.
Use your brain for a second, Willow. Okay.
I hear, even feel a tremendous impact. The ground flexes like something massive slammed into Saber from above.
そんな何の動作もなしで魔術を
Well, she did move a muscle. She spoke a word. It's moving muscles, Shirou. Here's what you know about biology.
Well, so there's some good news to this. Which is that I'm pretty sure that confirms she's a contemporary of Heracles, at least in terms of, like, mythology theory, because she just said the word Atlas and then dropped a boulder the size of a planet on top of Saber. So, that's nice confirmation bias. Thank you, game. Although, doesn't help because at least cognitively, I'm failing to find a solid parallel explanation for how those people, I think it could be, connect, although I was only able to get access to a book to read up on one of them because I can't internet because disambiguation.
Yeah, disambiguation could be a bitch.
And I know disambiguation's the thing that's working against me in this because I was looking up Heracles the other day and literally the third image on Google for Heracles is from this game.
Or possibly Grand Order.
So I haven't actually been able to Google. So the best I can say is that there isn't, at least in the Odyssey, any connection between Cersei and Atlas that is ringing any bells for me. So that helps. Question mark? I'm not sure.
I mean, admittedly, there's a connection there. They're both Greek.
Sure, but...
I mean, it's about as strong as a connection as Medusa and fucking, you know, Bellerophon.
Fair, but... But, okay.
Or
so...
Heracles and a big rock sword.
Okay, sure. But... I'm taking some solaces here. Well, then again, it's not exactly like my brain's providing any convenient connections between Medea and undead armies of skeletons. But my brain is telling me that Cersei would just send an army of pigs. So, I don't know. But I'm just relieved I was able to find a connection to Atlas, so my brain can stop hyper-fixating on that, because giant rock dropped on them.
Everyone knows that everyone in ancient Greece all knew each other and hung out on the weekends. Yeah, I mean, true story. Actually, I think she murmured something like an incantation. Incantations can be shortened. The simpler the Magecraft, the shorter the spell can be made. But this isn't by any means simple Magecraft. Not in the modern day, maybe, but Age of Gods was a different story there, Shirou.
Bio. If anything, an army of pigs would probably be harder to kill than these pottery skeletons.
Yeah, the calcium warriors made of porcelain are, you know, not really holding up that well. Not many mages could visualize such a thing in a single breath. Even if it were possible, they need to prepare a catalyst ahead of time, like Tosaka does.
Oh, wait a second. I forgot something.
You forgot something.
I saw a thing.
You did saw a thing.
Help!
I doubt it. Alignment neutral evil, does that help? Female. 163 centimeters.
Whoops, that is not brightness on my phone, that is volume.
Strength E, Constitution D, Agility C, Magic A+, Luck B, Noble Phantasm C.
I literally just tried to move tabs in the game on my phone. Wow, hello. Hero info?
Nope.
Skills.
Territory creation, rank A.
I'm literally
Creating
just
an advantageous territory for oneself as a mage, possible from a temple that exceeds a shed. Item construction, rank A. So, can make stuff. Rapid Words of Divine, rank A. Can activate Magecraft without saying an incantation or connecting with magic circuits. Even Great Magecraft can be cast in one step, single action. They are words from the Age of Gods. So modern people cannot pronounce them.
I'm sorry, but modern people can pronounce Atlas. It's not that hard. No offense. Nothing.
Nothing.
Not
No,
surprising.
we just learned about Rapid Words of Divine, basically.
Okay, do we know anything about weapons? Nope.
There's unnamed Dagger. Oh no,
No,
that's Riders.
Riders.
Never mind. Nope, we don't know shit.
I need to go to the bathroom. I will leave my phone here so that if you guys are talking or putting thoughts in chat, you have a minute or so before I'm back.
I like how the territory creation entry specifically throws a jab at Shirou with it saying good mages can make workshops better than his shed. Yeah, his Shirou shed is just a measuring stick now, don't worry about it. Just the quintessential example of a magic user, basically. Well, I mean, it makes sense, she's Caster. Why would we expect Caster to be anything other than the quintessential example of a magic user? Hera could be a... I don't know. Hera maybe. Maybe Hera. How good would you say your new workshop is? I'd say it's 3 to 4 sheds. You know. Han, Shakespeare, and other non-Magecraft casters are sweating right now. Yeah, right? I still can't get over them having these like tiny, actual tiny text names above the other ones. It's so off-putting.
What you doing?
I was just paging through some of the other weapons. Forgot they translated Kojiro's sword to laundry drying pole.
But they also didn't translate half of Artoria's stuff.
Well, yeah, not her thing on her, like, Noble Phantasm anyway. Yeah, it's down here, right? Yeah, Yakusoku Sarita Shori no Ken instead of Excalibur. They didn't bother to translate Sword of Promised Victory.
Alright, I'm leaving my phone on the table long enough that if there was any discussion of things that need to be redacted, it can be deleted.
Now, we were just talking about other gods like Hera and Tamamo and Artemis. And...
You mean the robots?
Well, Hera I don't think showed up in LB6 or LB5. Tamamo's Japanese and not Greek, so that's not relevant. But Caster triggered the Magecraft with a murmured word. I have never even heard of anything like this. If that's Caster's Magecraft, she's no mere mage.
Saber!
Saber hovers there, frozen. Her feet still kick in midair. She hangs there, suspended. The air around her seems to have thickened into gelatin. She didn't drop a rock on her. She dropped a gelatinous cube on her. Oh God!
She dropped a rock on Shirou.
I can't get close. Some sort of invisible barrier holds me back. The murkiness seems confined to Saber, but so long as her feet don't touch the ground, she can't move.
侮ったよね、セイバー。あなたの時代の魔術師がどれほどだったかは知らないけど、この指は
Okay, thank you for that confirmation of the thing I'd already figured out and just been assuming for the past several weeks. That confirmation's helpful. Thank you.
こんなマッセの魔術師たちから見れば、私の技は魔法のそれでしょう。
Yeah. Basically everything I do must seem like capital magic to you peons. A ridiculing laugh echoes out from the depths of that dark robe. Saber's still suspended, helpless, in the air.
なんだ。本当にこの程度です
Oh
か
God, she cut off Caster's music. She dismisses this as if it were some dull trick.
対魔力。そんな、私の魔術すら弾くというのか。
Caster steps back. After casually nullifying Caster's Magecraft, Saber surges toward her at lightning speed. But I saved the game.
Lots of saves today.
So we have two options here. One of them leads to death. Can you guess which one leads to death?
Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it's gotta be you're in range of Saber.
It's the one that lets Saber do Saber things, yes. And this is not the same death that we avoided earlier. This is actually a different one. Get her, Saber! I shouldn't be so apprehensive. We have Caster cornered. Really dropped the damn jello mold onto Artoria. She knows that Artoria's weakness and she won't be able to continue fighting until she's eaten every bit of food within her line of sight. Yep.
You haven't read yet?
I did, actually. You just didn't hear it. If we retreat, we're only giving Caster a chance to win. Saber's sword flashes in a blur of movement. She's closed the distance and will likely cleave Caster in half with her next strike. But then... Saber suddenly stops. It's hammer time. It's nothing Caster's done. Saber's own instincts seem to be stopping her from getting closer.
貴様、それは
Saber twists away to dodge. Too late. She falters as if something has lifted her upward, and then... a strange dagger plunges into her chest.
Caster, 今のは
そう、これが私の宝具よ、セイバー。
Hello, my noble phantasm is a knife.
Really cool looking knife.
A very impractical knife.
Yeah, but it looks sweet as
It
hell.
does look sweet as hell, but is very impractical.
サーバントは愚か、人間一人殺せない、何も生み出せない最弱の武器。けれどある事柄に対しては全てを許された寝台の免罪符。
白
Saber isn't injured, but she collapses to her knees anyways.
セイバー
Before I can figure out what's going on... Well, now we know how that happened last time. The final command spell disappears from my left hand.
予定通りよ、坊や。あとは中にいる魔術師と器を回収すれば、私の勝利は揺るがない。
Caster over here calling people boya like she's Evangeline. Her cheats super hard at Hanafuda. The most despicable of all noble phantasms. Yeah, her noble phantasm does let her cheat really hard at Hanafuda. In Hollow Ataraxia, when you play against Caster, if she gets her NP to do stuff and you win, there's just a chance that you don't instead. Like, her noble phantasm and hollow ataraxia is, oh, you won? No, actually I did, lol. It's very dumb.
So I know you probably think I'm thinking super hard about her noble phantasm. No, I've written that off as being unhelpful because it's not exactly like Medusa's was helpful.
Oh, I mean, you don't think a janky-looking dagger helps?
No, the fact that she stabs for the chest with a dagger actually helps a little. But no, what I'm stuck on right now is the word vessel. Because that's not the first time someone seems to have referred to Emiya as not being a person.
What makes you think they're talking about Emiya, not Tosaka?
Because we know enough about Tosaka to be relatively confident she's actually a person. What we've heard and seen about Emiya is that her maids are people that don't seem to refer to themselves as people.
Right.
And referred to Emiya as the successful one. And we've heard Emiya herself say she's literally made for the Grail War. And that her purpose is Grail War. It's not been subtle with how they do wording in things in this. And I know she's older than them.
Does it in any way help if I tell you she had a childhood?
No. No, it doesn't.
And that her childhood was, like, approximately, 10 years ago. Like, she did grow up.
Yeah, see, hearing her childhood was approximately 10 years ago doesn't necessarily super help. Because I also know you saying it that way tells me I'm onto something because you're trying to throw me off. And don't try and tell me I'm not because your smug fucking smile says everything.
I don't know. I don't know what you're thinking is the problem. Right? Like,
the problem is I have many thoughts about the word vessel.
Emiya is secretly a rice cooker. That's the secret. Her head opens up and you put rice inside of her and she cooks rice.
That's not
like
even
a cooking vessel.
So there's a bunch of different ways.
Or she's a boat. You get in her, you get like on her and you can ride her across the water.
There's a bunch of different ways that could go in my brain. So you and I have talked about, I think, that Berserker's summoning catalyst thingamajig, because I think you told me at one point Berserker was a catalyst summon.
I believe Berserker was a catalyst summon. I don't super remember.
But she was certain that she'd get a powerful servant when she got Berserker.
The thing about her family is they have access to absurd amounts of resources, so they basically always get a powerful servant because they just can.
But the thing about powerful families, and the thing about when they've shown Emiya's magic circuits, when those have flashed on screen, the amount of magic circuits she has seems kind of unreasonable with what I've been told about how they inherit.
Well, the magic circuits are passed from person to person over the course of a lineage, and they get bigger over time.
Unless you're Sakura and Shinji's family, where they got reduced and weaker despite the fact that the family was trying to breed them back to being stronger.
Yeah, but they kept marrying non-mages, was their problem. Like, they kept diluting their mage blood with normies. Was the problem that the Autos had.
So the thing is, a part of the issue with how many video games I've played and how much anime I've watched and how many TTRPG source books I've read is that there's a part of me that's going, if they're calling her a vessel, that means she has to be designed to house something. It's probably not the Grail. It's almost certainly not. She's just living embodiment of Grail. Because that would be ridiculous, even by this game's absurd standards. I refuse to believe they went that level. Although that was my first thought. Was the reason she's so bullshit confident she's gonna win the Grail is just she is.
Well, I mean, the reason she's so bullshit confident she's gonna win the Grail is... Well, that and her grandpa told her she would. Basically.
But...
It's like, I'm gonna give you the strongest servant, and you're just gonna win. Have fun.
But that phrase doesn't sit right with me. Anyway, continuing while my brain spins in gears. Yes.
Caster raises her hand.
For a second, I thought you were trying to ask me a question. I'm like, in what universe am I gonna be able to provide clarity?
Even without her chanting, the airwaves and...
Waves. Waves. The air is going like this.
Hello!
Hello, I'm the air.
The airwaves. Hello! And blows me off my feet.
I mean, to be fair, if I saw just a hand materialize out of the air to wave at me, I'd probably be pretty fucking stunned.
It makes sense. She's a caster, she's probably a wizard, and has Mage Hand as a cantrip. I can't get up. My legs are an absolute mess from that blow, and simply won't move.
そろそろね。さあ立ちなさいセイバー。たとえ神が罰しようと、私があなたを許してあげる。
Her family is mega turbo rich. They can afford to just collect random bullshit to use as servant catalyst as they see fit. Yeah. You know the meme where the lady is thinking about a whole bunch of math equations and floating around her? That was Willow for like the past 10 minutes.
It's still Willow.
Oh yeah. Also, she can only use her magic air hand once per short rest. Yeah, of course. That makes sense. Saber stands up. She walks in the same jerky manner as those bone soldiers. Slowly approaching me as I lay immobile. Her eyes bulge like she's having a nightmare as she swings her sword down. I didn't hear any foos in there. I've been lied to.
セイバー、これであなたも私と同じ主殺しの罪を負った。ええ、これからは罪人同士仲良くこの地上を呪い殺しましょう。
That's not how I thought that that second sentence was going to end. And for a second, I felt so vindicated.
Why, how did you think that was gonna go?
So, because my confirmation bias and who I want it to be at this point is kicking in, I was like, oh, she's just gonna say, you and I now bear the consequences of killing our own families. A bit because you know, she's inevitably been spying on them enough to understand the general relationship of the Emiya household. And I was about to be like, yes! Because I'm pretty sure I remember Medea killing all of her and Jason's kids. And I was gonna be so happy because I was like, yes! Bloodthirsty, which is the thing I typically don't associate with Cersei. I mean, yes, she's... Mythos has killed a bunch of people, but she's not bloodthirsty. And I was about to be so happy.
Bio.
And then one word.
Willow's brain is now materializing false things into the world just to try and make her think she's correct.
Correct, yes. Like, I'm well aware it's confirmation bias fucking with my brain.
It's fake news.
I just want to be right.
Caster's laughter assaults my eardrums. Without even understanding what's going on, I feel my body go rigid.
Also, I'd just like to be able to Google my Greek mages again. I can't until I'm right. It's literally driving me insane. Like, Edu can tell you that I have been known to, like, mythology and mage fixate spiral, and the fact that I can't right now is driving me insane.
Crimson stains the night. Saber stares down at my blood-soaked body, her eyes filled with tears. Or terrors, possibly. Oh, goodbye. Dead end. Well, at least the last thing he saw was Saber being sad.
How's that supposed to be any consolation?
Well, it means that as he died, he knew she didn't mean it.
And that's supposed to make him feel better? She was just forced into doing something she didn't want to do, which has been the whole thing he's been rallying against the whole time. I would think that would arguably make him feel worse.
Tiger Dojo.
よし、どうやら敵は去ったよね。
She's literally just calling him a loser.
Yep.
Although, I will say there was some vindication in some of the stuff that Caster was saying. Because she basically did confirm she'd be going after Emiya and Tosaka. Meaning I was probably right that she used the last command seal to force Saber to kill him. So, my ability to call things in this game is still at least seemingly on point. So I'm taking some degree of... Would you please stop Trump dancing to the Tiger Dojo
I'm
music?
just vibing to the Tiger Dojo music. Carry on.
No, you're doing the Trump YMCA shuffle side to side. What? No, I'd almost respect it if that's how he actually did it. But no. Okay. Stop.
それでは気を取り直しまして、ちょっとした脇道から谷底へまっしぐら。このままじゃ現世復帰が無理めなシローを助けるレスキューコーナー、タイガー道場始まり始まり。はーい。けどタイガー、今回のデッドエンド、さっきのデッドとあまり変わらないわ。
No, no, it's very different, Emiya. We saw why we got killed that time.
こっちもセイバーが暴走してシローがバッサリ殺されたエンドよね。
Incorrect. Not stabbed, she just cut him in half.
And she didn't go berserk. She wasn't speaking in rectangles.
And also, she was clearly very sad about it.
けど、
So
さっきのとは少し違うっていうか、今回はシローが頑張れば防げたデッドエンドだからな。責任はセイバーちゃん一人にないような。はあ、そういえばセイバーいないね。 責任が半々なら落ち込むことはないみたい。
She's not as upset about it when it's only half her fault.
Y'all must be careful. She's gonna bring that, like, lion tank back in and kill
今
you
回は
guys
安
again.
心してタイガー道場を運営できます。そうね。けど今回は言うべきことはないかな。こういう微妙な選択肢はこれでおしまい。物語もいよいよ山場だから、しっかりしないと正しいエンディングに行けなくなるよ、シロ。キャスターさえ倒せば、いよいよ敵はあと1人。勝って兜の尾を締めよ。ピンチの次にチャンスあり。気を抜かずに戦うべし
Only
す。
one enemy left. That also feels incorrect. There are 2 servants left if Caster's dealt with.
Well, I mean, we haven't seen Lancer since, like, day 1.
Although, I suppose in theory, if Caster's trying to collect Saber, she could also be the master to other servants in the Growl War. In theory, maybe. I don't know. I'm giving myself a headache. I'm thinking too much.
For what it's worth, which isn't much, given that we've discussed that the Growl Wars break the rules all the time, servants summoning other servants is strictly against the rules of the Growl War.
I'm not saying I think she summoned other servants. I'm saying she killed other servants' masters and then claimed those servants. Which is entirely within the rules of the Growl War.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, that would definitely be within the rules.
それじゃあまた次のタイガー道場で待ってるよ。はーい、またね、シロー。
Okay, anyway, Matane, back to the choice point we were at. Maybe they aren't counting Lancer because Artoria already styled on him. Yeah, I guess there is that. Like, there's only one servant left after Caster who Artoria hasn't already beaten in a fight, I guess, technically. Because she did beat Lancer, but Kotaro styled on her really hard last time, so...
Alright.
No, Saber, don't do it! She's got a knife! Look out, she's got a knife!
Oh my god, it's season 1 of
It's
Charmed,
season 1
all
of Charmed
over
again, yeah. Saber raises her sword. It might actually be an Athame, who knows. She's already closed in on Caster.
Although if that were the case, it would technically mean that one of the biggest threats to Caster is Caster's own knife.
You know, that's honestly probably pretty true. Caster falling on her own knife would probably be an issue for her, yes. I desperately sprint towards Saber, my heart racing. Hey, Caster, what do you have there? A knife? No! Yeah. Although, yeah, it has been pointed out, servants being masters at all isn't supposed to be in the rules. Like,
Well, I'm
Caster's
sorry,
already breaking
but
the rules by just...
I was about to say, I'm sorry, but that's been spoiled since the first time that we encountered Saber.
Yeah, exactly.
And she killed Shirou explicitly
to take his command spells, yeah.
So, sorry, not sorry. I don't believe that for a fucking second.
No, I mean, it's against the rules, but like we've said so many times, these Growl Wars have very hard rules until they're broken, which is in, like, every Growl War. So, Saber suddenly halts. It's not clear whether Caster did anything. Saber tenses up after sensing something from Caster. Saber twists away to dodge. However, bony arms burst from the ground to grab her legs.
予知直感まで持っているとは予想外だったけれど、これで罪ね、セイバー。
A sharp blade emerges from the folds of Caster's robes. It's an oddly shaped dagger. It does look really sick.
Design's not helping me. I mean, it kind of looks like Lightning Bolt, which would distract me.
You're right,
but...
she must be Zeus.
But I know she's not Zeus. So...
You don't know she's not Zeus.
Zeus is a robot. I've been shown that multiple
Only
times.
in the Lost Belt. That was a different continuity. Thin and brittle. That blade isn't meant for killing. Saber regards it in disgust, and Caster strikes, clearly seeing her opportunity for victory. Being grabbed from the ground must have surprised Saber. As Saber is unable to dodge or deflect the falling dagger, she simply takes the blow, looking astonished.
Bonk.
I hear Caster's voice from behind me somewhere. I can't see her expression. The only thing I can do is throw myself in front of Saber and take the blow in her place.
Shirou.
Honestly, given what we know, it's kind of a smart decision, actually.
I mean, sure.
It's from his perspective, it's incredibly stupid, but like, with what we know, it's actually the smartest possible thing he could do is throw himself in front of that knife. It wasn't graceful. I didn't have the confidence to just step in and take the dagger to the chest. So instead, I tried to shield Saber, hugging her to obscure Caster's target. And so Caster's dagger plunges into my back, tearing through my spine in a moment of unbelievable pain. I stop myself from crying out in pain and muster my strength to support Saber.
Shirou.
It's okay. I didn't let you get stabbed.
Or to quote Bio, oh no, Shirou got stabbed by a tiny dagger.
Yeah. If this were Shiki, he'd be dead like a bitch. True story. I mean, if anything, Shirou by this point knows that he has an easier time healing than Artoria does, so it's not that bad a plan, considering. Well, the last time... I don't think that tracks, because the last time Caster killed Shirou, she actually, like, just
Physically ripped his arm off.
Literally just cut his arm off to take his command spells. So...
And to be fair, the last time she did it, it was a much better deal. She got way more command spells.
Yeah, well, one more command spells.
Well, when you're only allowed a maximum of 3, one more makes a huge difference, you know?
I can't hear what she's saying, even as close as she is to my ear.
I'll get stabbed by the tiny dagger.
It's okay. I'll be fine. Saber understands before I can gather my voice to tell her to jump. I go flying. Saber shakes off the bony hands gripping her legs and carries me with her.
Shirou, Kizu.
Saber's voice is urgent. She lays me gently on the ground, but the pain only grows worse. It feels like scissors tore open my back and someone poured lead down my spine. Why am I creating magic circuits right now, damn it?
I was about to say, that just sounds like a normal Tuesday night for you.
The pain is unreal.
Shirou, しっかりしてください. Shirou!
But I'm not exactly losing my mind over it. Hearing Saber practically shouting actually makes me calmer.
バカ。そんな大声出さなくても聞こえてる。こんなの痛いだけでどうってことない。今は俺よりキャスト。
I point in Caster's direction, my head still down.
はい。すぐに決着をつけます。少しの間だけ
Just
辛抱して
don't
くだ
get
さい。
in daggering range. Maybe Excaliblaster. Just saying. Nope, still not here.
They gave it a full screen image. You could tell me something, game. Oh, fine.
今のが貴様の宝具か、キャスター。
Saber's voice is harsh, angry, and Shirou also just tanked the Noble Phantasm, so that's pretty impressive. The black shadow clicks her tongue in irritation and raises the strange dagger in her hand.
ええ、見ての通り生倉で人間一人殺せないものですけどね。あなた触れたくないのなら私には近寄らないことね、セイバー。
Caster's talking bold, but she doesn't seem as composed as earlier. Holy shit, Shirou, are you okay? No, immense pain. Just stab the lady over there while her dagger's still stuck in my spine. Yep. Also, Caster over here giving us a lecture instead of just fighting. Yeah. Whatever her noble phantasm might be, it can't hurt Saber, even if she surprises her with it. Oh yeah, then why were you so worried about Saber getting stabbed with it, dumbass?
お前ならあとは問題なく倒すはずだ。
I give my orders through gritted teeth.
あら、それでいいの、セイバー。確かにあなたなら私を追い詰められるわ。けどその間に誰がそこの男を守るのかしらね。言うまでもないでしょうけど、私の魔術が通じないのはあくまであなただけ。あなたがそこの坊やから離れれば、追い詰められた私が何をするか予想がつくのではなくて。
貴様。
Call her bluff. There's two more perfectly good masters in the house. Saber's voice rumbles up from deep in her chest.
Here's the thing. I don't think Caster's bluffing. I think Caster absolutely would murder Shirou in a split second.
Well, that luck Artoria has. She is astonishingly good at rolling nat ones all the time. Yeah. The rattling of bones grows louder. I'm kneeling on the ground, and Saber holds her sword, defending me as the bones surround us.
I'm just picturing Artoria off to the side. Can I Excaliblast now, Shirou?
I messed up. Even if I manage to save Saber, there's no point with me being left so weak. I can't move properly, so I'm just slowing Saber down. Caster would be no threat to Saber alone, but with me to worry about...
話し合いに来たと言ったな、キャスター。
Reminds me of playing Wrath of the Righteous and rolling 3 nat 1s in a row with a character that had an attack bonus of 60. Ooh. Please tell me you weren't at least weren't fighting Discari and the or any of the demon lords, because with an attack bonus of plus 60, you had to be towards endgame. And are we talking Wrath of the Righteous, the PC game, or Wrath of the Righteous as it was originally as a Pathfinder First Edition campaign? Because I've run both. Monks in the PC game. Oh, Mooks in the PC game. Well, at least you weren't rolling all those natural ones when it actually mattered.
Can I laser the things now? Are you gonna pay for the damages to my house? Ugh, fine, I won't vaporize the neighborhood then, big baby. Yeah.
マスターは黙っていてください。今はこれが正しい
Shut
選
up,
択で
Shirou.
す。
Mommy and Mommy are talking. Saber lowers her sword. I think I hear Caster laugh amid the sound of the rattling bones all around us.
話を聞こう、キャスター。条件によっては見逃してやってもいい。
正気？あなたたちの命は私が握っているのですよ。
I love that. Are you nuts? Do you not realize your lives are in my hands right now?
This is not the time for
そんな強気な態度に出られ
bargaining.
ると、つい握りつぶしてしまいそうだわ。
間違えるな。貴様が握っているのは私ではなく、私のマスターの命だけだ。
Now let's be very clear, lady. You've got Shirou on the ropes. I'm fine. I can still take you.
だがそれを潰すというのなら私も容赦はしない。この身が消え去る前に我が剣の全てをもって貴様を焼き尽くす。
The air around us goes cold. Saber's words intimidate Caster. I can feel it.
いいわ。そこの坊やには手を出さない。もともと私の目的はあなただもの。一人ぐらいマスターを見逃しても支障はないわ。
Interesting.
初めから私が目的。
そうよ。バーサーカーを倒したほどの英霊を見逃す手はないわ。残るサーバントは私とあな
Oh,
た。
well,
それ
Assassin's
にラ
dead
ンサーだ
apparently.
け。あなたを味方に引き入れればランサーなど敵ではないもの。
Either Assassin's dead or Caster doesn't know about Assassin. One of the two.
残り3人。ではアサシンはすでに倒されたのか。
さあ、もういないのだから倒されたのでしょう。主も守れないサーバントは消えて
Says
当
she
然。
who murdered hers.
Yeah, right? Can't believe someone actually managed to kill just a guy. Yeah, rip just a guy indeed. Assassin was defeated? Does that mean the Master in Rito Temple is gone? I didn't fight them or even know who they were, but now there's one less Master.
I'm going with Student Council President.
You're so suspicious of
I don't like
Issei.
him. He triggers every last instinct in my body to distrust the fuck out of him. So yes, I am
He's not even-
convinced he was a master.
I don't understand how you distrust him more than Kirei when Kirei's a Catholic priest.
Yeah, listen,
At least he's just Buddhist.
my own gripes with Catholicism aside, Kirei survived the last Grail War. I know he's no innocent, okay? I get that. But at the same time, because he survived the last Grail War, I also know he's a survivor. So I know to be at least a certain degree of distrustful around him. But I'm sorry, they gave unique art to Ryudo Temple Boy. So no, I don't trust him as far as I can fucking throw him. In games like this, you don't put that kind of focus on a character for there not to be a reason.
They gave unique art to Mitsuzuri as well. And to those 3 girls from the track team who showed up in one scene in the prologue.
Sure. But
Just to point out.
but they also didn't really make any comebacks either. And we've seen him. He came to Shirou's house. Who has come to Shirou's house that isn't important? Answer me that.
Taiga.
Who runs the Tiger Dojo? Try again.
Yeah, but she's been in a coma for half the game.
Sure, she still runs the Tiger Dojo. And they had to get rid of her because it was a struggle for the plot, but they introduced her anyway. Try again.
Hold on. There was that guy that brought Shirou's bike back.
You mean guy from the temple, yeah. Who I instantly distrust, yes. But let's go over other people that have been to Shirou's house since the start of the game, shall we?
Lancer.
Who's super plot relevant. Caster, super plot relevant. Sakura, who I've been told is super relevant to Heavensfeel.
Well, yeah, she's the main girl of Evansville.
Yeah, translation. She's important. I stand by my statement. There's no one we've seen show up at Shirou's house in this game that isn't relevant in some way, shape, or form. So I'm sorry, but Mr. Ryudo Temple is suspicious as all hell, and I'm not ever going to trust him.
It really just feels like you're confirmation biasing your way into thinking you're correct again.
I'm not saying I think he's a master.
Taiga's dad
Necessarily.
did go to Shiro's house that one time.
He's Taiga's dad. I also don't trust him. He's literally a Yakuza boss.
He is a Yakuza boss, that's true.
But listen. Also, Bio, don't try and gaslight me. It's not gonna work. But I refuse to believe that anyone that shows up at Shirou's house isn't relevant. That'd just be really poor writing, considering that they've tried to space it out as being, you know, his home base and his safe space. Here's the thing. DM Rules 101. If you give your players a house, the only people that should ever be showing up there are plot relevant, and you shouldn't destroy it or do it harm unless you have to for the plot. So, because this still just feels to me like a really wonky D&D campaign because somehow only the bad ideas actually work.
Player Rule 101. Never invite anyone into your house in case they're a vampire. Because otherwise they're not allowed in.
Fair. So by your own logic, Priest Boy's a vampire, and therefore can't be trusted.
Tell that to Spike.
You leave my dear sweet master alone.
I made you walk into that one.
No, I knew you were gonna go that way, but you leave Spike alone. Angel can fuck right off, which is ironic because I love him and I love that actor in Bones. He's great there. But fuck Angel. Spike, please.
Can't wait for Isidro really had his grail in the pocket the whole time. He's just like, I had this cup. It's shiny, I found it. It's mine now. So anyway, apparently Assassin's dead. So that's unfortunate. So the only remaining servants are Saber, Caster, and Lancer, who hasn't shown up since night 1.
くだらない無駄話はそこまでよ。
It's going to be a real small Grail War.
私が欲しいのはあなたのその宝具だけ。マスターを殺されたくなければ、おとなしくその剣を渡しなさい。
Give me your sword.
それこそ無意味だ。この剣を扱えるのは私だけだ。宝具はその持ち主でなければ使えないと英霊ならば分かっていよう。
But you aren't a proper servant.
ああ、そうだったわね。けどそれならあなたごといただくまでの話よ、セイバー。
Well, if you're gonna be that way, I'll just have to take you too.
どんなに優れた騎士でも捕らえてしまえばどうとでも懐柔できるし、何よりあなたは私の好みですからね。
Oh,
しつけるのは
baby.
楽しそうだわ。
Her voice drips with amusement. I feel myself on the verge of passing out, even as my anger boils over. I try to shove the pain aside and start to force myself to stand on numb legs. I'm not gonna let Saber get captured because of me. I decided I'm going to protect Saber, so I'm not letting a wound like this bring me down. Oh god, there goes my legs. I grab my wooden sword and start slashing at the bones surrounding us.
いけない、シロ。
Saber's voice is brittle, tense.
そう。自殺したいのなら止めはしないわ。
Why is everyone in love with my servant, Shirou? Yeah, basically. Caster mocks me as I struggle. Moon! Bones crack and rattle. And, as if to muffle all those sounds, the bones are swept aside in the blink of an eye by a sudden volley of arrows. We all stand, dumbfounded. The arrows that rain down on us disappear as if they'd been an illusion. But they weren't. The entire horde of bones is gone.
誰だ。
Caster looks up. Saber must have noticed earlier. Well before Caster, she stares up towards the wall in disbelief. I don't understand what I'm seeing. There's a golden figure standing with the moon behind them. It's a man, clad in golden armor, looking down at the yard with a cruel smile.
何者。
Caster raises her voice, instinctively realizing that this is the one who annihilated her troops. He gives no answer. He's not even looking at Caster. His eyes are fixed on one person alone. Saber.
答えなさい。何者かと聞いているのです。
Caster's voice is heavy with emotion. The golden-armored man finally looks at her. Caster gasps as the man's red eyes bore into her. His gaze is impossibly cold. This dude is such a fucking guy. He doesn't even see Caster as human. I can tell, as far away as I am. I don't blame Caster for being intimidated, like some icy hand has a grip on her heart since she looks straight into his eyes.
あなたはなぜ私の邪魔を。
Caster's voice trembles as she speaks. I'm waiting. The man is gonna say the line eventually. He has to. She must know she's doomed if she doesn't do something.
I'm thinking. The struggle is I'm trying not to confirmation bias concerns into places.
But
雑種に名乗る言われはない。
he said the thing!
伏せるがいい。どけ。
He dropped the Zashu line! He did the thing! Calling people mongrels is this guy's whole thing. He loves calling people mongrels. His answer comes as a death sentence. I hear a loud snap By the time I realize it's the sound of him clicking his fingers, the tragedy has begun. Myriad weapons appear in the air, shooting toward Caster like bullets from a machine gun. Caster raises her arm. A conceptual shield envelops her. It forms a glassy film in front of Caster. It is likely every bit as durable as Berserker himself. But her efforts are probably fruitless, as the barrier is merely glass. Well, rip. Her crystalline barrier shatters under the deadly rain of so many weapons. She sounds utterly dumbfounded. With not a modicum of concern for Caster as she so pitifully tilts her head in wonder, the weapons tear through her dark robe. They are merciless. Spears tear into her, sending fabric flying, only for yet more of them to plunge into her body. Swords cut down her falling form, while arrows sail toward an arm as it's about to hit the ground. An axe chops off a head about to complain of the pain. All of it brings Caster to untold peaks of agony. She can't possibly survive. Caster, succumbing to an endless hail of so many different weapons, is no longer even recognizably human. The wind flows. Her tattered, empty robe floats away.
Well, rest in peace, Emiya.
The shredded pieces of it fly skyward in the evening breeze. So sure are you?
I just can't justify it being Cersei with what I read from The Odyssey the other week when I was shamelessly reading it at our parents' house trying to get caught back up. Yeah, welcome to what I've been doing the last few Saturdays before you get over there. I've just been reading The Odyssey.
I mean, I've got a copy of it too.
But I just can't justify it being Cersei, and sure, confirmation bias, but of the two reasonable mages I thought it could have been, it just sort of left me in a place where, for me to... I'm not looking at chat.
Bio,
I'm deliberately avoiding chat.
what Bio has told you is you either lock in now or you won't be using Google for a long ass time.
There. I guess I might as well lock in. It's the only thing that makes sense relative to... relative to everything I've actually learned. I'm still struggling with the dagger, but I also definitely can't associate a dagger with Cersei in any way. So...
Well, I'll give you this for free. It's definitely not Cersei. In fact, here, I'll grab Cersei for you. Because like I said, Cersei is in Grand Order. Because, I mean, basically everybody's in Grand Order these days, obviously, but... just go into my caster list and find Burb. There we go. There's Cersei.
Aw, cute.
So yeah, it's not Cersei.
Yeah, I'd lock in at this point on that. I'm reasonably I have my justifications.
Locking in on Medea, are we?
Yeah, why not?
Well, I did tell you when you told me who your suspicions were that both of the people you were thinking of were in Grand Order.
And that both were casters.
Shall I pull up Medea for you?
Sure.
Okay, give me one moment. It's past 7 o'clock, so the game had to reload.
I know that feeling.
Alright, let me just find Medea real quick. And, there's Medea.
I mean, I do know Caster's hair is blue. So try again.
No, that's Medea. See, it says right there, Medea.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the Lily version of Medea, so the younger one.
So keep going.
You ready?
I know you better than this, you know.
You ready?
Uh-huh. Yes!
Yep. That is sure as hell Medea.
Vindication! Woo! So honestly, it just came down to when I was going back and forth on who it could be. Just Medea's always read as the more bloodthirsty of the two to me. So significantly so just the degree of violence, like, again, it came down to Cersei's solution would have been turning people into animals. That just would have been her solution. Oh, Shirou, you're in the way. You're literally a swine now.
That is quite literally Cersei's noble phantasm is turning people into pigs.
That's about right.
Medea Lily's noble phantasm, by the way, is a stack of pancakes.
What?
Yeah, no, her NP summons a stack of pancakes. It's called Painbreaker, and it removes all debuffs and then restores HP for the team and then increases debuff resistance for the team via pancakes. She literally summons pancakes to give people a good breakfast, and then they're better. It's adorable. That's not regular Medea's NP. Hers is the knife.
Wait, was the moment in question pancake related bio?
Remember a few weeks ago when Inu suddenly started cackling right at the end of the stream because of a message I sent him? Yeah, this is why.
So I knew it had to be something relating to Caster's identity. In fairness, I knew that. Especially because it had come at the tail end of one of my last rants about Caster's identity. I'd kind of figured that much, but just why pancakes? That's so unnecessary. Okay, Google is safe again. Thank fucking God.
Google is safe again.
Now who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, that's the next question. Who is this guy? Because Archer died.
Right.
And he's not Lancer.
Right.
And he's not Assassin.
Right.
And he's not Rider. And he's not Berserker. And he's definitely not Saber. And then we're out of servants. So...
Yeah, Kevin, that's the problem. I have no fucking clue.
So yeah, who is this guy apart from incredibly cool? Maybe because it's the only thing remaining to remind us of Caster. Yeah, the robe is just trying not to go poof. I'm completely speechless. My frozen mind is fixed on the miserable remnants of that robe as they float away. And then...
無礼者。俺が失せろと言ったのだ。 徳自害するが礼であろう。
That would have been the great. That would have been the sensible thing to do. Yeah. She wouldn't have gotten like hacked to pieces if she just killed herself. The man in gold grunts contemptuously. And Shirou's just like, the fuck, man? I'm not hallucinating. The dark robe twists like the coils of a snake, then sprouts wings to fly away!
Okay, well that got rid of thoughts I'd been having. Actual fuck. Wait, is that Caster's robe?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
But it's too late. I don't know what the man did. I only see a crack in the night sky itself. Like a wave breaking out at sea. The fault line engulfs the fluttering robe. It's like a person being run over by a steamroller. Squish.
I think that was me.
That was you.
I'm just not sure
Don't worry about it, it's probably fine.
why my phone was making noise.
I'd also like to clarify that Inu was actually conflating things in regards to the younger Medea. Her noble phantasm is actually just her using the incredibly powerful healing magic. There are no pancakes. Wait. Oh, the pancakes is just the event. Yeah, she keeps talking about pancakes, but it's not actually the thing. Yeah. She just, like her character, she just constantly talks about making pancakes. The robe falls. Caster is beneath it, unscathed.
Oh, well that's nice.
And then,
Oh.
a
never
storm
mind.
of magical swords rains down onto her. Medea Lily did turn a demon god pillar into a pancake. Yeah, that's true. Her scream splits the night. More swords fall upon her in response, and her scream grows louder. Pull them out. How about more swords? Caster must be able to heal herself like Saber. Even all those swords impaling her is still not enough to kill her, but it's hard to watch. The torrent of swords do not stop. Each weapon is different. No two are alike. And, as much as I don't want to admit it, each of the weapons is a magical sword or spear, and it's easily a match for a servant's noble phantasm.
嘘こんなことあるはずないこんな馬鹿げた数あるわけ
An inexhaustible supply of noble phantasms rains down onto Caster. Seeing the way she struggles under it is just...
死ぬ私死んじゃうこんなデタラメで死ぬなんて
As he said, the sensible thing would have been for you to just commit suicide when he told you to get out of his sight. Frankly, this is your own fault. And Caster gets fucking obliterated. Caster never gets it this bad again. She gets shafted so hard this round. And that's the end of Caster. She disappears, along with the black mist that was hiding her. The infinite cycle of torture that seemed to drag on forever lasted, in actuality, about 10 seconds, give or take. During that time, Saber stood, scowling at the Golden Knight.
魔術師不全騎士王を捕らえるなどと口にするのも大罪よ。あれは王である俺のものだ。王の宝に手を出す輩にはかような串刺しが似合っていよう。
King of Knights being Saber's epitaph, in case you forgot.
Right.
Okay.
さて、久しいなセーバー。覚えているか？俺が下した決定を。
Series really has a thing with labeling people as king of blank. Yeah, Skandra's the king of conquerors, Saber's the king of knights. Got a king of heroes around the place.
Really trying not to try and play into hair color.
Why?
Well, I mean, cognitively, I'm struggling to understand how there's another other servant. But I fail to see how he could be anything other than that. And
Well, the rules are very clear. You can only You can only
fuck the
ever
rules,
summon.
the game doesn't give a damn.
That's my point, right? There can only ever be 7 servants in a given Grell War.
So instead, I'm using my logic instead of the game's rules because they don't care.
It could be Goku. Yeah, somebody in chat's pointing out it could be Goku. What are you thinking, though?
No, I don't think it's Goku, but he's asking about decisions he's made.
Uh-huh.
It's not Kiritsugu, because I've seen images of Kiritsugu.
No, that's not Kiritsugu.
So it's gotta be, then, working with the limited knowledge I have, someone that Saber would have known in the course of Saber's life.
Okay.
So, I'm basically theorizing before I advance slides at all, just to get ideas out. Like, I'm assuming that's not Mordred, because that'd be really upsetting.
No, Mordred is traditionally summoned as a Saber class and is also a girl, so, you know.
Of course they are. Well, that's reassuring.
Don't let Mordred hear you say that, though. She'll kick your ass.
So, I'm figuring...
Also, Mordred wasn't a king. Yeah, that's true.
That's fair.
And neither were any of the Knights of the Round Table, so that rules all them out.
Sure, but I really don't want that to be Uther. Like...
I don't think we've ever seen Uther in the lore.
It's been so long since I've read any of the Arthurian lore. I'm certain that they have to be connected to Artoria as Artoria somewhere.
I'll tell you, the answer is going to be revealed on this day in the game, so just keep reading, you'll get there. His tone turns amicable as he addresses Saber. But Saber doesn't answer. She only glares all the more intensely at him.
なんだその顔は。 未だ覚悟ができていないというのか。あれから10年だぞ。
Oh, fuck's sake.
There it is.
Fuck, are you still here?
The rules are very clear, except for when they aren't.
Okay. So this is what's his face at the temple servant, isn't it?
No. No, it's not.
Because they have to be somebody's servant from the last Grail War.
Yep. Rin's dad summoned that guy. True story.
Huh. Wait. Hang on. I know we've talked about who Rin's dad summoned. Come on, it's in your brain somewhere, Willow.
All I ever told you was that he summoned Archer.
Yes.
I never gave you a name.
Ah!
I was very careful about that.
Okay. He's calling himself a king. Kings that could be archers. Kings I've heard you and Elle and Sarge mention so that I know they're in Echo.
It's not gonna help you. It's really not. And the armor isn't gonna do shit for you either.
No, but I am going to press every button in my brain until I come up with something. Oh, I thought I was done. I was done having to play the guessing game. All my mental capacity is exhausted.
You weren't expecting the second Archer. Archer 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Except some even bigger a snob.
Yep. Clearly he's Nikola Tesla, the king of electricity.
No. And if that's the title the stupid game's given him, I'm gonna be really pissed. I mean, I'd make Alexander the Great a writer, so that doesn't help.
Iskandar is in fact a writer, and young Alexander is also a writer. Both versions of Alexander are writers. He was also in the Fourth Grail War, by the way. He was the writer in the Fourth Grail War.
Oh, that's helpful.
Yeah, true story. He was Waver's servant.
Waver?
Yeah, Waver. The little shit kid that I told you about. That's now a bigwig at the clock tower. He was the guy that stole the other guy's summoning catalyst to summon Iskander, making the other guy summon a different servant.
Ooh. Could be an archer. And would be a king. And would have been a master. Wait, how the fuck is he still around?
We'll get there. It will literally be explained.
No, I need to figure this out. And I need to buy myself thinking time.
Good luck. We just get to sit back and watch you suffer. Yeah, that is a great question. How is this guy still here 10 years later?
Because Reed's dad's super dead.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he died in the last war.
Also, fuck everyone in chat for enjoying my misery. Screw all of you.
Yeah, Rin's dad never made it back from the war.
But at least, this happened today and not next week. Because I'd be really pissed if the shit sent me into my birthday next Monday. Pissed.
Well, we could have just gone longer that day until you figured it out or decided to just accept defeat and let the game tell you.
There's there's a reason I'm not pressing buttons. Because there's a very real chance that he just name drops him. Because there's no way she doesn't know who he is.
Oh, she absolutely knows who he is.
And I'm still not convinced he's not one of her contemporaries either. Ah! I mean, it could be bio. This stream just runs for days on end while Willow refuses to leave the screen until she figures out the mystery using the none information she's been given.
No, she's been given some information. He's wearing gold armor. He has blonde hair, red eyes,
Red cape.
a fuck ton of noble phantasms, and he was from the war 10 years ago. And he was Reen's dad's servant. That's what she knows.
And he's an archer.
And he knows Saber, and he's declared himself a king.
すでに心を決めても良い頃だが。ああ。もっともそれは俺だけの話なのか。
Oh,
お
wait a
前にとっては
second.
つい先日の話であった。
You said once there was something fucky with the last Grout War.
Oh, there was a lot of shit fucky with the last Grout War.
It's not over yet, is it?
Oh, it's over. Yeah, no, the fourth Grout War ended.
Because he's still here.
He is still here.
Were you still here? Also, where the fuck have you been for 10 years?
Hanging out.
まったく男を待たせるとはたわけた女だ。
Beyond that, the way he's looking at Saber is making me nauseous. Yeah, this dude, laughing heartily, heart pounding, partly from the disaster. But yeah, this guy's just kind of, sussy as hell. It's easier to name things that weren't fucky with the Fourth War. Yeah, exactly.
まだ雑種が残っていたか。
He said the thing again! He glances toward the house.
You leave Reen
Annoyed.
alone.
Oh,
何
what was that line of text? I didn't see it. One at the bottom.
Yeah, he looked over into Emiya and was on the porch.
Ah, that's not good. Emiya looks up at the man like she's just seen a ghost. She strains her eyes for a moment, then shakes her head in disbelief.
嘘あなた誰なの
Gold man, please don't nuke Shiro's house. That's where he keeps his shed, and his shed is where he keeps his stuff. Well, his house is where he keeps his dressers.
嘘
Emiya jumps off the veranda and glares at the man.
Technically,
like
that
a
doesn't say Emiya. It says Illy.
That doesn't say Illy. Illy, she just jumps off the veranda.
知らない私あなたなんて知らない私が知らないサーバントなんて
Well, now she's Emiya again. He won't call her Illy out loud, apparently. My words don't reach her. Emiya releases a mass of magical energy straight at the man. I hear it rushing through the air. He does nothing. A mirrored shield appears in front of him and reflects Ilya's attack back at her.
Oh, that's not good.
Ping! She'd been so blind and desperate in her attack that now she has no time to react to it. Ilya can only stand there as her attack rebounds towards her. Suddenly, Reen. Tosaka steps in and saves her, blocking the attack. Bold move trying to take a pot shot at a man who literally has enough weapons to blot out the sun.
前回の鉄を踏まぬよう少しは工夫したということか。
He looks down at Ilya, scrutinizing her. He looks at Ilya the same way he looks at Saber, coldly, as though appraising prized possessions. Ilya glares at the man while Tosaka tries to hold her back.
貴様の事情なぞ知らん。いいから早く開け。そうら、せっかくの5人目なのだからな。
Avoid the confirmation bias, Willow. You need to be focusing on who he is, not what Ilya is.
He says it so simply. I'm not sure why that had any effect on her. Ilya trembles violently, then slumps to the ground. That's it. Nothing else can happen. Tosaka and I can only look up at the man. We completely understand. He's not looking at us. If either of us so much as speaks up, we'll meet the same fate as Caster. But not Saber. Her silence as she stares up at the Golden Knight is entirely different than ours.
なぜあなたが限界しているのです、アーチャー。
Saber tries to keep her voice under control. Tosaka and I can only gasp in surprise.
なぜも何もなかろう。聖杯は俺のものだ。自らの持ち物を取りに来て何が悪い？
ふざけたことを。あなたはそのような英雄ではない。
やめておけ。その先を口にしては戦わざるを得なくなるぞ、騎士王よ。いや、もとよりそのつもりであったが、今日がそがれた。再会を祝すにしては、ここはみすぼらしすぎる。
Let's go back to Murder Park.
And with that, the man in gold turns away. He turns his back to us as if to demonstrate that we are no threat.
いずれ会うぞ、セイバー。あの時から俺の決定は変わらぬ。次に出向くまでに心を決めておくがいい。
He disappears. He just fucking leaves! The tension fades and the yard returns to the usual tranquility. But it's the only thing that returns to how it was. The Emiya household is in shambles, and Ilya fainted. And Saber, still with her back to us, remains silent. New servant data has been added.
New weapons data has been added. Okay, well.
Archer! Master, we don't know. True name, unknown. Male, 162, 182, I can't
I
tell.
think that's 182.
Chaotic good alignment.
Bullshit!
B strength, C con, C agility, B magic, A luck, and X rank noble phantasm. No help for you. Magic resistance rank E, independent action rank A plus, and charisma rank A plus. So
Oh,
he's
whoops, not what I meant to do.
good at leading armies. No.
But we've seen it, though!
Oh, we've not seen his noble phantasm. Oh, hey, Durandal's in the list, though. We did see him throw a Durandal at someone. That's the sacred sword of Roland, the paladin from medieval Europe. He was one of the paladins under Charlemagne. True story. And then we also saw Harpe and Vajra and Dainsliff. See, look. That's the divine sword that some Greek guy used. I can't really read it from here. That might be Perseus? Perseus?
That Perseus used to slay the Gorgon Medusa.
Yeah, see? Look, he's got that too. Alright, then we've got Vajra, which is from India.
What the fuck are you?
One of the core divine symbols of Indra, the god of thunder in Indian mythology. So he's got shit from India and France and Greece. He's also got Dainsliff. Which is the magical sword of... I can't even begin to read that. It's... Anyway, Siegfried! You know. And then also, I think Heaven Scorcher Halberd might also have been him. A type of polearm historically used in China.
Who the fuck are you?
I hope that helped.
No!
I hope that gave you some clarity on who this man is.
No! That didn't help, in fact.
Imagine that. Man was scientifically designed to make your brain break itself in half trying to understand. Yeah, no, you and me both with the glee at the what are you? Love how confusing this is to new readers. It's amazing. I know, it's great.
Fuck!
It's okay. Archer will just break your brain. Anyway.
You know, it's been a while since I've had one of these moments in this game, but I've had enough of this bullshit. I'm going home.
Well, I mean, it's also time.
I know.
So, you know, and we're at a really good stopping point, actually. So, you know, good timing. Good timing. Oh. Hey, so, true story, we're going to the church tonight, apparently. Oh,
Great.
yeah.
So I'm gonna be super angry next week. Understood.
I don't know why we're going to the church, but we are. But anyway, yeah. Meeting Archer. Archer 2. Or Archer 1, I guess, originally.
Why is there more than
first
one
one.
Archer?
There's not. The other one died. He's the only Archer now. It's just there were 2 Archers for a while.
Here.
Hey, you know what's even worse? You saw him once before. You did. Way back in the prologue. Way back in the prologue when Reen was the protagonist. You saw him. Super briefly. There's a throwaway comment. Oh, hey, look. There's Sakura talking to a blonde foreigner. That's weird.
For fuck's sake. I mean, technically, we didn't see him on screen.
Yes, we did.
We did not.
We did. He just wasn't wearing his armor. Let me see if I can find... He was on screen. See if I can find the actual, like, plain clothes. Because this jackass was very clearly on screen
Oh, fuck. Yeah,
talking to Sakura. To be very clear, Sakura is not this guy's master.
No,
He was just having a casual conversation with her in the street. But yeah, you have seen him before, once, 1,000 years ago.
that doesn't help.
I didn't think it would, but I thought it'd be useful information for you to have. It's not the first time you saw him. He did show up before. So your question of where has he been this whole time is Fuyuki. He's been here the whole time. We saw him before the war even started, technically speaking.
Who the fuck
He was here before Saber.
are you? Ugh.
Oh, this is fun. Nothing to see here. Wonderful.
So remember how earlier in the game I was talking about Chekhov's gun?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Screw you, Chekhov!
Yeah, you know, I mean, you did say before, like, oh man, when you're talking about Shirou's house, like, oh, nobody comes to Shirou's house, it's not important. Well, what you failed to mention is nobody that has a unique sprite isn't, like, at least named or important in some way.
Well, what's funny is I think even back then I commented, well, when we saw people talking to Sakura, I'm like, oh, I bet he's gonna be important. And then
you
completely
promptly forgot
he existed because my brain was too busy trying to figure out the fucking servants.
Yep. You did. You're like, oh, well, that's gonna come up later. I think my response is, nah, probably not. Probably never see that guy again.
Angry.
What I was trying to do for a little while there is I was actually trying to find the exact still from when we saw that, but I didn't have the time to go hunt for it. And I didn't want to give it away before, like, I didn't want to give it away early by asking Bio to go try to find it for me.
No, see, here's the thing, Bio. For whatever reason, my brain didn't think I had to focus on servants other than the ones that we were going to be encountering here. Which is ridiculous, because I've been going on to Inu for months about the fact that, you know, Saber's previous Growl War, and wouldn't it be, haha, funny story if other servants recognized her or remembered her from that fucking Growl War.
Yep. And I've just been laughing it up all the way to the bank, guys. It's been fun.
But I don't... The bit that's bothering me more than anything else is I don't understand how the fuck he's here.
The bit that I don't get is how when we were talking about the servants in Zero, I told you who every single servant was except Archer. I gave you the name and class of every servant except Archer.
I mean,
Who I hand-waved and was like, yeah, Reen's dad summoned Archer. Don't worry about him.
listen. And a part of me clocked that fact. But also, my brain was too busy making sure I at least met the basic description of like figuring out the servants you thought I'd figure out. Which means for the last several weeks, my brain's been frantically trying to remember everything I can about ancient Greek spellcasters
Yep.
without Google.
Yep. I've done a fantastic job of distracting you from realizing there was something fucky going on here. It's great. Yep.
And the problem now,
As we've said the entire game, the rules are very explicit and set in stone until they aren't.
now the problem here, right, is that my brain is now going to spend the next God only knows how fucking long trying to remember everything I can about historical multi-continental conquerors in the desperate hope that something's helpful
Well-
without Google.
You've got a Skander, who he's not.
Right.
You've got
Attila the Hun, who I've been told is female.
Attila the Hun, who's female. You've got Charlemagne, who he's not. Because I've shown you Charlie. You probably don't remember, but I have shown you Charlie. And more, and also...
I mean,
the big
Julius
ruler
Caesar
one.
tried the whole multi-continental thing, but I don't think made it far enough to get some of those weapons.
No. And the other thing is, you and I've talked about Caesar because you were asking about Cleo.
That's true.
And I was like, oh yeah, and Caesar's also there. So,
Nothing about him screams Napoleon to me, and that aside, Napoleon wouldn't have considered himself a king.
true, he was an
He
emperor.
was an emperor.
He is an archer, though. For what that's worth, Napoleon is an archer. He has a big cannon that fires rainbows.
It's stupid, and I love it.
Yeah.
but-
Great. I have him. Hold on, I'll find him for you. Where's Napoleon? Archers, Napoleon. I'm blind and looking past him. Napoleon, where the fuck are you? You're a gold servant. Why can't I find you?
Let's see.
Oh, there you are. There's Napoleon.
I'm just gonna assume he's not Henry VIII, because that'd be silly.
I don't think Henry VIII is a servant, full stop.
And I wouldn't have made Henry VIII an archer anyway.
If anything, like assassin, maybe. For all those times he just had
Beheaded his
people's
wives.
had his wives' heads cut off.
Okay, just answer this. Are they gender bent?
Nope,
Okay, good.
100% not. Napoleon would also have a giant hat. Very true.
Okay.
Yep, 100% not gender bent.
Over under on me actually knowing who they are.
I think you would know the name, but I also think you probably lack the information to work it out
Fair.
at any point. I think when you hear the name, you will know the name and probably aren't well versed enough in the mythology and the legend to get there.
Okay,
Would be
so,
my guess.
So more mythological and legend based than historical based.
Fair to say, yeah, probably.
Okay. That helps, but also simultaneously doesn't. So,
Yeah, no, that narrows it down to every culture, anywhere, forever.
yeah. Great. So can we do something next Sunday that won't piss me off?
No, we can't. But I think we do get. I think we will get some answers next Sunday at least. So, considering right, this is the end of day 13, so we still need to go to the church apparently, and then hang out and Rin's room for a little while for some reason. And then day 14 is mostly a straight line with one death in the middle of it when we fight the gold fucker. And then we get to day 15, which is the end of the game. It has, what, 1, 2, 3 more deaths. So we are 4 deaths away from the end of the Fate route.
Okay.
And one of those, I'm going to have to figure out how many Saber points we have. And then make sure that we have a separate save with either enough or not enough so that we can get the Tiger Dojo.
Oh, I'm sure we don't have enough.
Well,
I think I've only earned Saber points once,
maybe twice. And
because I think you literally cheered the first time I actually earned a Saber
like, oh my god,
point.
guys, she got Saber points. Also, I'm fairly sure there's no way for us to get Saber points between now and then. So, that's gonna be fun. So yeah, fun times. But it's all good. Interesting.
I'm still obsessing over who Goldman is. But again, I'm in one of those situations where I can't Google anything. Nothing is safe to Google when I have no idea what it could be.
Yeah.
Like, there were things that were still safe to Google when I wasn't sure who Caster was.
Yeah.
Because I narrowed down in my mind enough about Caster that I wasn't going to just stumble across Caster by accident. Bio's enjoying this, isn't he?
This has gone every bit as well as I hoped it would.
Bio, I adore you, but fuck you.
Oh, it's fun. It's fun. We all knew this was coming. So, can we all agree that Caster's true identity is a smear on the ground? Yeah, pretty much, right?
Right, but a smear I successfully guessed. This is irritating.
It's great. It's great. Anyway, we'll get to Goldie next time. And, even if Willow doesn't get there, which I would be very surprised if she did. But assuming that she doesn't get there, we'll get the answer next time, probably. Probably next time. They don't keep that secret for too long because, it's him and Lancer left, really. I mean, and
you say as if whoever he is isn't about to go destroy Lancer to get his 1v1.
I was gonna say, and let's be clear, he is the much bigger threat than Lancer. He just evaporated Caster like she was nothing. So, sucks to be her.
I actually have a lot of shit I need to get done at work this week, and my brain's not going to be on any of it.
Don't worry. It's fine. Everything will be Daijobu. Well, I should probably let Willow get home, you guys. So, until next week.
I'll catch you guys later, and fuck all of you for enjoying my pain.